Oh dear. Hey everybody. Lucky for Enzo here because I thought I'd set it for 11 o'clock my time, and thankfully Enzo goes, dude, where are you? And I've looked and I've gone, oh, oops. So here I am. Sorry, guys. Oh dear, that's terrible, isn't it? Set it up. I know that Crow had a live going, so he may well possibly still be going. So that's no worries. Enzo, hello.
Hello.
Is my crown on straight? Looks like it.
Oh yes, you're quite beautiful. You're stunning.
Oh, thank you, Enzo. Oh gosh,
I was actually getting a little concerned because I was like, she's not answering the DMs, and where is she?
Oh, I'm terrible. Cheryl says, hey. Hey, Cheryl. Oh, yes. Look, I've been this morning. I'll do a bit of catching up first. I won't talk about anything important right now. Only us. Enzo's been busy this week watching. Hey, Tanya. Enzo's been busy this week watching what's been going on in the NASA report for the UFO thing, and I've been looking at the
thing in Mexico
and the other thing in Mexico. I don't know what to think of that. I watched as much as I could, but it went on for so long, and I missed the alien reveal, which turns out to be the aliens from a couple of years ago. But it's my understanding, and you can correct me if you're wrong, you probably paid better attention through the whole thing than I did, that they're going to give those, or he's offered for other scientists to take those and look at them. Is that correct?
Because yes, during the last part of the big reveal there at the end, they unveiled the two alien mummies there at the end, and along with that, they had a couple of different scientists, doctors, not sure what their actual qualifications were, where supposedly they ran DNA tests on the thing and did full X-rays and the whole spiel on it, released a bunch of pictures and things like that, and gave their version of that. And they said basically everything that we've collected is available for whatever scrutiny the scientific community wants to do. And here they are. You can come. We don't care where you come from. If you want to come and check them out and run your own tests and all that, come on down to Mexico. Well, you can do that.
So that's a good thing. That's a good thing. But I mean, that is a good thing. If they said, "Oh no, that's our finding," then you'd go, "Yeah, all right." Then.
Right.
You don't want us to find the clay. Plasticine.
I'm sure there may be a rental fee for using the alien bodies of some type, but it's certainly for full-blown DNA tests and stuff like that. That's not a cheap process or a quick thing.
But I mean, one would assume anyone with a vested interest in it that had a little bit of cash to spare would go, "Yep, no worries, I'll pay for it because I want to know if these are real or not."
Right.
So we'll see what happens. I just want to say hey so Cheryl's here, Betty's here, Holly, hey Holly, and did I say Tanya? Don't hurt me, Tanya. Tanya's always here. She's a godsend, really. She's really good. She's one of Tanya moderates for everybody. I don't know how she does it. But she does, and she's really good at what she does. So, yeah, it's cool. So everyone's probably still over watching Crow. That's all right. Crow doesn't go on all that often anyway. So yeah, and everyone loves Crow. He's funny. I have invited him to come along here if he wants to, if he's not too exhausted after his. I think when he sits still too long, he's just kind of, it exhausts him a bit. He needs to lay down and possibly eat a hot dog or something. He better not be eating hot dogs. He and I have talked about that. There's no hot dogs for Crow. He's not allowed to eat rubbish. He's got to start eating healthy. That's me. This week, we'll start talking about everything in a minute, but just while everybody might be coming in, I don't know, might just be these lovely people here that stay and talk to us, Enzo? Who cares? Doesn't matter. It's a good chance to catch up with Enzo anyway. I enjoy talking. Ooh. Hey, Kathy. I enjoy talking to Enzo. I've got star questions for you this week too.
From star questions.
Star questions, because you like stars. But I just wanted to tell everybody, because they know I love my animals. Holly, an old friend of mine, she's in here. She knows I'm an animal nut. I've been feeding. I know you're not supposed to, but I put out a feeder bowl. The reason I'm putting out a feeder bowl for the wild birds is because around the area that I'm living, the forests or the bush where these birds generally live is getting all knocked down. They're building up new suburbs, and they're it's so sad to see. It's just bang down. And I mean, it's not like a bird or a snake or a kangaroo. The kangaroos are getting hit on the local road because the poor things don't know where to go. It's really horrible. I know it's progress, but then I don't like it. Hi, Exploring Harley. Hi. But I've been putting out a feeder, and this beautiful, I'll take a photo of it and I'll pop it up on my channel just to show everybody a photo later. But this beautiful king parrot, a female, I'm pretty sure, because the boy king parrots are really beautiful, and she's beautiful too, but has been coming into my yard and eating from the food. Well, it's been going on now for about 2 weeks. Now she's getting cheeky, just her. So when I go out in the morning and do my usual water the plants and check on the animals, I hear beep, beep, beep behind me, and I'll look, and she's literally like maybe 2 feet away from me, as if to say, good morning, where's my breakfast? So I run and I get her breakfast and I put it in the feeder and I go, there you go. And she flies right in front of me. She's getting used to me. And it's so, I don't know how you feel, Enzo, or anyone else, but when a wild animal realizes it can trust you, that's awesome. It's an awesome feeling. So I'm very excited that, I've got a Holly. That's Holly's just said I can buy pollen for a lot of the native birds. Yes, that's what I do, because I've got a lot of lorikeets here as well. So I mixed up this pollen mix, and it's watery, and they come in and eat that. And then she's liking that, but she likes the fruit and stuff I put out. So that's what I've been up to this week. Feeding wild animals. What have you been up to?
Well, actually, my neighbor, she's 77 now. She has a whole bunch of bird feeders and a little bird bath with like a little solar, like little fountain thing, so it circulates the water around and all that stuff in front of her place. And every spring, she always gets this one specific male oriole that comes in. I don't know if you're familiar with an oriole, but it's sort of a blackbird, but it has these really bright orange kind of patches on the front of its wing. It's pretty cool looking. But and it will come around, and she puts out Welch's grape jelly in a little container on the little bird feeder there, and loves it.
Yeah, they love the sweet stuff.
Yeah, she also has a bunch of hummingbird feeders. We get quite a few hummingbirds around here.
Oh, those hummingbirds! Yeah, they're in. My friend Connie, who lives in Virginia City, she's like me. She's as mad as me. She puts out nuts for the squirrels, nuts for the squirrels, and also the birds get them too. I think it's the hummingbirds, but she's got hummingbirds and those little red birds, cardinals.
Cardinals, yes.
Is that what they are? Cardinals. Oh, they're beautiful. So beautiful. But yeah, America's got some beautiful, beautiful birds. This is the king parrot. Oh, yeah. This is a picture of the king parrot that comes into it's not that king parrot, but that's what she looks like. You can see that? Yeah, I can't.
Oh, yeah.
I've taken up the whole screen sharing it, but she is really pretty. And so that's who comes in and talks to me and says, where's my food?
The female is that brightly colored? That's surprising.
Yeah, that I'm pretty sure that's a female. Well, I could be wrong. Maybe it's a boy. Maybe it's a boy coming in. But last year, go.
I'm sorry. I was going to say, just typically in the bird world, the males are the ones that are very brightly colored, pretty. And the females are usually much more muted colors because they have to sit on a clutch of eggs for weeks at a time. Right. So it's more of a camouflage kind of thing.
Yeah, let me double check that. Male. Maybe it is a male. Although they maybe it is a boy, Enzo, because the pictures that are coming up. Let's see what the female. Hang on, female. Oh, I've got itchy nose. Do you hate that? Female. Yes. Well, good. Thank you, Enzo, because it is. Hang on. Yes. So that. Oh, it's brought up that again. Where's the female? Yep. Back to StreamYard. Present. Share screen. I think this is it. There we go. There. So, yeah. So he's all red up here. Did you get it? Can you see it?
Yep, I can see it.
Yeah, so you're right. So the girl, so it's a boy. It's a boy. Oh, do you know why that? But do you know why that's good? That means that he's sussing everything out. And that means that he's probably got a girlfriend. And that means that once he's sussed it all out and he trusts me when the babies are born, because that's what happened last year. I had a female and a male. First I had the male come. Now I know. First I had the male come. And then a week or so later, the female come in. But then the female disappeared again. And then when she came back, 8 weeks, like a long time she was gone. And when she came back, there was 3 of them. So, cool. I'm looking forward to this.
It is kind of fun. The last few years I was in the Air Force, I had to deal, I worked in the safety office, which part of that job included basically wildlife management around the airfield, basically keeping birds from flying in front of the planes to get hit, things like that, because they can do a lot of damage, larger birds especially. But anyways, that's how I knew males are more brightly colored and female. I know. I mean, before I went into that job, it was like, okay, it's either good with.
My chair. Oh, there we go. I wondered why I was so low.
You're slowly sinking.
Because my chair doesn't go under my desk if it's not down low, and I just thought, geez, I'm low. There I am. Yeah. Go ahead.
Can't sink like this though. Whoa.
You're at that bar again. You must get special stamps for going to that bar so often.
That's it. They should
have you actually ever seen any bar fights while you've been watching?
No, I've never seen bar fights. They actually have a band that plays way here in the back. You can sort of see them. I actually have a different angle on the stage.
Oh, all right. There's a guy there with the guitar. Yeah.
Yeah, there's back there.
No, put it back to the patrons. Something could happen.
You never know. Yeah, this is down in St. John's in the Virgin Islands is where this is. This is a live shot. So
I know, Cheryl. So did you have, if that was your job, when I went to Canada and I was at Niagara Falls, there was a man with a hawk. And I lost myself. Oh my God, there's a man with a hawk. And I ran over and he let me pat it. He's not supposed to, but he let me touch it. It was awesome. I've never touched a hawk. Anyway, but I asked him, why are you here with the hawk? And he said he was there that day to keep all the seagulls away from the people eating their food. But he said, I also work out at the airport. And I said, what do you? He goes, well, the birds are dangerous when the planes are taking off. So he goes out, does a little recon. They all go and hide and the planes take off. So I'm assuming that's what you probably had at the base as well.
We had a couple of different contractors. We did have a couple of falconers that worked for us the first few years I was in that job. They ended up losing their contract and whatever. But then we converted to a dog kind of thing where we'd move the dog out everywhere, where birds view a dog as a predator and they're not going to hang around anywhere in a permanent type status if there's a predator around. So, the dogs never attacked any birds or probably wouldn't even know what to do if it actually caught like a duck or a goose or something like that. But it was pretty effective. I was kind of surprised, but
it's amazing.
It's pretty wild. And it included, my job back then included all wildlife. So we had to go shoot some deer that would run around in the airfield, things like that.
You should have just caught them and sent them over to me.
No.
I sometimes it's funny. We have deer here too, but usually up in the mountains. But there's been times I've been tempted to go, and you can't. You're not allowed. But I've been tempted to go for a walk where they've knocked down all the trees, and because all these poor little wallabies and kangaroos are coming out of where all the trees have gotten knocked. It's my understanding that they shouldn't be coming out and getting hit by cars and things. It's my understanding that our government is supposed to have something in place with the wildlife portion, that when these sorts of things happen, they go in there and do their very best to collect all this wildlife and relocate it somewhere safe. But from my observations, and I could be wrong, but from my observations, they're not doing that. I don't think they give a rat's pajamas. I really don't. I really don't. I don't think they care, because the amount of poor kangaroos, and it's a busy road. It's not a freeway, but It's a very busy road. So not only are people in danger of having a bad accident, but these poor little roos, and there's we have these little things called echidnas that kind of look like porcupines, but they're called echidnas. Mm-hmm. All other wildlife that's just getting, where do we go? And being collected, or probably just being killed by idiots, or the work, because they're big diggers, like big tractors and stuff. They wouldn't care if they ran into a bloody wombat's hole or something.
Yeah. To be fair, right now is probably the better time of year to do it, because you're rolling into your springtime down there. And for migratory species and stuff like that, that's, you want to do it before the spring fully settles. You don't want to.
I'd like to go and catch them in the spring. My backyard's not big enough. I'd make it big enough, but it's just not big enough. But I'd love to. Plus, roos can jump reasonably. Oh, well, I think if I had a roo a big roo, I'd be stuffed. It could probably. I don't know that it could jump 8-foot fence or even a 6-foot fence, but that would be so mean. But I could at least keep it for a few days until I pop it in the back of the car and take it for a drive to the bush with some of its mates. But I shouldn't have to do that. That's the job of the wildlife people, who I don't see them here. I don't see any big little cars, or whatever. I don't see anyone rounding up the wildlife. A-holes. For
the program I ran, we worked very closely with, because I live in Kansas in the United States, which is the state that's like right in the middle. It's the little the square one in the middle. And we worked very closely with the Kansas State and Wildlife Parks people, which were govern over those kind of things and hunting licenses and all that stuff. We worked very closely with them a lot. Which they were very appreciative, because apparently the person that I replaced they didn't know who he was. But anyways, they do have, if I found out through my connections with them, that they do have licenses where you can, it's designed for farmers, because once you get out in Kansas, once you kind of get out of a main city, it's nothing but farmlands, just everywhere. And they will give hunting type tags to farmers to deal with deer, because you get several deer, they can wipe out your crop, pretty quickly.
I watched that movie, The Yearling. Do you remember that movie, The Yearling?
Yeah.
The really old movie.
But we had to get some of those, because we were trying to stay within the law, which technically, being federal government, we didn't have to, but we did, because that was part of the program. And through that, they were like, hey, by the way, if you want to, once you kill a deer, you can do whatever you like with it. It's not up to us, whatever you do with it. However, there is a program in Kansas where it's called Hunters for Humanity, where if people are out hunting, they get an extra deer and they just got no room in the freezer, they can donate it to this organization, and they butcher it up and use it for feeding needy families and soup kitchens and stuff like that all across the state. And we donated all of our deer to those. Nobody in my office.
That's what I mean. Like my son Stephen, the Stevie who passed away, he used to go hunting, and he knew how much I loved animals and everything. But I didn't go cooking him for that, because he did that. He went hunting. He would shoot a deer or a wild boar, a pig. And that was, he'd butcher it. That was their meat. so it wasn't like he was just going out, ha, yay, bang, and shooting anything that moved. He went out and that's life. That's saved him money, and that's the circle of life. That I didn't mind. But yeah, I'm not keen on the ones like you see in Africa and stuff who go and shoot. What do you want to shoot a lion for God's sakes, or an animal? Like that's shit. That's just.
In the U.S., they're really big on conservation and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They do studies every year for like all the deer population and ducks, whatever animal is in hunting season next, and you have to buy basically a tag for each animal that you plan on thinking. And sometimes you can only get one, sometimes you might get 2 or 3. It all depends on what the local population is wherever you're at. So they don't want you wiping out entire populations of deer, wildlife in general, I should say. But
I'll just say
it's very serious in the U.S.
I've just had a few people pop in. Oh, some people have popped in. Pocket Watch, hello, and Mike O, hello, and Mike B. There's Mike B and Mike O, and Cooking in a Mo. Is that how I say it? Cooking in a Mo. I think that's it. But
cooking in a mo. Like in a moment, I assume is what that means.
As an Australian, I would say if someone said to me, "Are you going to make some tea?" I'd say, "Yeah, I'll be cooking in a mo," which means I'll cook in a minute.
Right.
But there you go. I don't know. And Holly, Holly was here before. What are you saying, Holly? What are you going on about? They want to shoot big game because it makes them feel tough and manly. It's pathetic. It is pathetic. Yeah. But I've seen women do it. So I've seen I remember seeing a picture of this woman, and I thought, I just find it sickening. But yeah. But who else? Oh, Stormy Night, hello. And I think, and Dawn. Hi, Dawn. How's your arm, Dawn? Or Dawn hurt her arm. Oh, well, she didn't hurt it. You had an operation. Yeah, Dawn, yeah. Dawn is Joe Vitale's better half, as we say here in Australia. I don't know if you say that in America. You don't always say your better half. Yeah, and Harley's here. Hi, Soul Seeker. Everyone's popping in. Did Crow just finish or something? Everyone's pop. Hi, Kazza. Yeah, Crow, bless him. He's a funny bugger. He's a funny fella.
By the way, I did find a shirt as close as I could to match the picture of me you had on the title card for tonight's show. Red shirt with flowers on it. So
I actually thought of you yesterday. I was at the shops. Surprise, everybody! I was at the shops, and I was walking around, and there's a men's store that they're selling Hawaiian shirts, and I thought, just to make Enzo feel comfortable, I should get a Hawaiian shirt. But they were so loud. There was one with ducks. There was one that had some frangipanis on it, and I thought, I don't know. And then I walked away, and then I thought about it again, and I went back and had another look, and I went, maybe next time. Besides, I would have had to have tried it on, and I wasn't in the mood. I don't like shopping.
It's become. It started as the whole Hawaiian shirt thing started kind of a joke a couple of years ago. I went to the Spaced Out Radio get together in Las Vegas year and a half ago, and the joke was I'm going super touristy mode. I'm wearing the cheapest, crappiest Hawaiian shirt that I can get, and just I'm super touristy because I've been to Vegas many times, and this time it was like I'm going super cheap, super low budget. Everything I'm just going to drink and have a good time and hang out with people I know from the internet. And it turned into a thing where now people only know me as wearing this. So this is my YouTube uniform now.
Well, there you go. Well, that's how. Okay, how did this start, Tanya? I think Tanya. I think I had flowers or something, and I'm pretty sure it was Tanya who said something, called me the fairy queen, and she always calls me the fairy queen. I call her the fairy princess. And then I thought, oh, as a joke, I'll put a crown on next time. And now I just wear crowns. It's just a thing.
There you go. The internet makes us do crazy stuff.
Yeah. What did Holly say? I was watching this documentary about people traveling to Africa to shoot Big Five and justifying it that it gives millions to conservation. They pay millions to do it, do they? I bet they don't.
Yeah, they pay a lot of money.
Well, why don't we just get all those hunters that go and shoot? Here we go. Watch out, Loz, if you're still around. She is going out to enjoy the sunshine. I'm not going to miss them, Loz, but I wonder how they would feel if all of those big-time hunters were in an arena and they're basically caged in. Sometimes they even dope these poor animals up so they're easy to kill.
That's just cheap right there.
Yeah. So how about we put all these big game hunters, you know, all these really rich dentists and God knows what else they are, put them in there and give everybody just a stun gun, just a tranquilizer gun. We won't murder anybody, but scare the absolute shit out of them. People can wear their Michael masks or, whatever. Let them see what it feels like to be hunted down. Leave the animals alone. There's not enough of them left anymore. Too many humans, not enough animals. End of run.
I mean, there's certainly, like, I know I can't speak for other countries and what they do, especially for the big game hunting stuff, because obviously that's a lot of money for very depressed parts of the world. That I sort of get it. It's not right necessarily, but I kind of understand. But here in the U.S., they're very big and very stingy as far as passing out those tags and stuff like that, and they actually. Before you can, and most states in the U.S., they're all a little different, but the hunting class that I went through, because you had to attend a hunting class here in Kansas before. It doesn't matter how much hunting experience you have, or how old you are, or how young you are. You have to attend this class, which is 2 days, and there's a written exam, the whole spiel. They take it very seriously, but. They had this great example where they pick like 4 or 5, random people, usually younger people that don't know any better, out of the crowd. And they're like, okay, here's the deal. You are a deer living in, you 5, 6 people are all deer living in this patch of woods. And every year there's going to be so much rain. So that's so much water, which means there's going to be so much food available for you to eat. And so much, cover for you to have, to live in your habitat and things like that. And they had like little poker chips where one was water, one was food, one was cover. And I want to say there were a couple more, and he would take these poker chips was like this. You need one of each of these to survive every season. And he would take them and just throw them on the floor. There wasn't enough for everybody. So they had to scrabble and get one of each. And it's like, oh, sorry, you didn't make it this year. You died. That kind of thing. Oh, very dry year this year, so not enough rain, and which means not enough food. You still had plenty of cover, though. So they'd throw the things out there on the floor, and they'd have to scrabble again. It's like, oh, sorry, you didn't make it. But they did all of that to explain that if you don't hunt them at all, specifically deer is what I'm talking about, there will be a population explosion where they won't have enough to eat even in their natural environment when everything's perfect, Yeah,
like I say, I don't mind if they hunt them if they're eating it. Like, it's not just a game. It's not just going out and taking a life and letting it rot there. Like, it shouldn't be a game. It should be a, like you're saying, a conservation of it.
I can't, of course, speak for everybody in the U.S., but for every hunter I've ever known, it was never, ever about just going out and shooting that stuff and then walking away and just leaving a perfectly good, animal that you could carve up and eat and feed your family at home. So it's because some people love, venison. I'm not that I mean, I could eat it, but usually you have to blend it with something else. It's fairly good.
It's like wild duck. I've had wild duck, like someone went duck hunting and I ate wild duck, and it's I mean, if you got used to eating game like meat, it's just because they're different. They're active. It's really,
You think it's chicken and it's not. It isn't.
It's not chicken. It doesn't taste like chicken. No. Venison jerky rocks. Dawny, I've already turned her into an Australian. Dawny, over here, if someone's got a name, you usually add something on at the end. What time is Joe here? What time are you going on, mate? I don't like how many. Don't tell me what time because I have no idea what that means from here. But how many hours or how long till? Yeah. No, Tanya, kangaroos are not out of control. Well, I think they are, but I like kangaroos. They're beautiful. Just everyone should be allowed to have a pet kangaroo. That'd solve the issue because they're cute. Oh, well, all right.
Do people eat those down there? They don't eat those, right? They're not like deer where do some people eat them? Okay.
Yeah, you can go to the supermarket and buy kangaroo meat. Yeah, 1 p.m. Oh, thanks, Tanya. Thanks. Easy, good. I'll be done by then.
Would like to shout out my good friend Andy Gambino, who's in the chat. We were on a show earlier this week.
There he is. Hello, Andy. Hello. Is this the first time I've seen Andy?
Yeah. Well, he was asking me what I'd been up to we were on a live stream for the NASA.
That's
show.
right. Yep.
And he asked afterwards what I'd been up to. It's like, actually, I'll be hanging out with Karen at Doof Doof Paranormal on Friday. He's like, what is that?
That's just me. Doof Doof just apparently in Germany, Doof Doof or a variation of means silly, stupid. Like that's how it translates. But here in Australia, Doof Doof is a reference to loud, bassy music. You know, doof doof music. Don't ask; it's too long. But I'm stuck with it now. It's stuck.
Thumbs up to Mike O. Bison burgers. Bison in general is pretty good stuff. Bison is very tasty.
At what? At Bear Burgers, that was pretty good too. Poor Bear. No, don't tell me these things.
I was up in Alaska once, and everybody up there hunts and fishes. They stock their freezers and then eat on it throughout the winter time, which is half the year, of course. But they had I was up there once where they had like a chili cook-off thing, and basically it was just an excuse to clean out everyone's freezer. And they made this gigantic pot of chili, and it had so many different kinds of animals in it. Every spoonful was like a different animal. It's like, caribou, squirrel, rabbit, elk, moose, bear. I wasn't a fan of the bear, but it was pretty wild. It was the craziest thing I think I've ever eaten as a single bowl of stuff, because every single bite was something different.
I can honestly say I believe that if I had to, if the world stops and I've got to go hunting for my own food, I'll become a vegan. I honestly don't think I could kill something and eat it. And the reason I say that is because once, and if there is anything greater than me, I'm so sorry, but once I was given a ram, a male sheep, right? Mm-hmm. And I was going to keep him as a pet with my female sheep. But he was supposed to have been fixed. And when they fix him up, they call him a wether. And he was supposed to be one, but I don't think the job had been done properly. And so when you would turn your back on him, he'd ram you. And he was a big boy, like he was a big fully grown sheep. So I knew what to do. I thought, right, okay, well, we'll just whenever I'm outside, I've just got to make sure I'm looking at you. And he kind of learned from me not to do it. Like I could go, don't you dare, and he'd stop, but he could get aggressive. And he was in the paddock one day, and the owner of the property I was living on, I said to her, don't go in the paddock where he is because he'll run at you. Well, she didn't listen because she, like me, is a bit of a nut job when it comes to animals. She decided to go out and say hello to the ram, who then decided to go whoop, and she was older and it knocked her down. I went, oh my God. Anyway, then she came over and said, he's got to go. Well, no one would take him. And I lived in the country. No one wanted him. No one wanted to put him anywhere. No one wanted to do anything. And I thought, oh, God, what do I do? And then someone said, look, just, why don't you just have him humanely killed and butchered? And I went, I don't know. And honestly, the whole thing is very traumatic for me to think about, because the guy came and he said, it's really quick. And I said, I don't want the meat. I don't. And I closed all the curtains because I didn't want to look out. But afterwards, after the man had gone away and taken him, I went outside and I cried and I cried. I cried for days. I felt horrifically, I felt like a murderer. And then the man turned up with the meat and I said, I don't want the meat. And he goes, well, take it. And I gave it all away and I knew I couldn't. I felt sick at the idea of even touching it.
Right.
And I thought, no, I don't think I could do that. Oh, bye, Harley. Love you. Thank you for popping in. So, yeah, I don't know. I think, yep. If it ever come down to the crunch, I'd either rather die of starvation or just eat berries.
I don't know. You'd be surprised what you can do.
Well, fish I might. If I could catch a fish, I might, because I could probably eat a fish, maybe. But then you've got to gut it. I don't know. Yes, I know. You don't know what would happen if it got down to the gist of it. But I think I've got a strong enough fortitude that I just let go and just die. I'd much rather die. I just couldn't. I'm sure I could find berries. But I couldn't stand. I still, honestly, I'm not joking. I traumatized. I just wish I had never done. I don't know though what I could have done with him. No one would take him, and I had to do it because stupid me though. I should have just taken him to the vet. And said, "Can you put him to sleep for me?" I don't know why I did that. But anyway. Andy says he's loving your choice of shirt tonight, Enzo.
This is to match the title card for tonight's show. It was the closest I could get, a red shirt with flowers on it.
So what did you and Andy end up thinking of? Because Enzo sent me an invite because Andy and himself were going live watching the NASA what do you call it? The NASA briefing.
Well, they did a detailed report on their investigation into UAP, unidentified aerial phenomenon. And honestly, the report itself was kind of more of the same. There were no surprises in there. It's like, oh yeah, and we saw this thing from Zeta Reticuli, and they're very nice. It was nothing like that. Mostly it was, we could probably discover a lot more if we had better equipment. And of course, to have better equipment, we need a little bit more money, that kind of a thing. But it was the actual conference itself where they spoke for a little bit, kind of discussing, how many people they had on their team. They had, developed it. Basically, NASA has an official UAP team to research them and stuff like that. And they view themselves as kind of a reference material or offshoot for the Aero team, which is the federal government's official team. It's not like they're doing a separate thing or anything like that. It's basically if Aero has a question about something that they refer to NASA, they have a specific team specifically for that, to answer their questions for that. And but where it kind of, the whole thing kind of fell apart is they had some kind of generic canned speeches that we've kind of all heard before. And then they opened it up to questions, and these reporters and other people that were in the audience started asking these honestly not that difficult questions, or kind of wanted to flesh out a few of the things. and they just fumbled and stumbled through every step of the way. Every question was like, oh, I said this. It's like, yes, that's what we have the question about. That was our question is, what did you mean by that? Well, if you weren't paying attention, I said this. Like, yeah, that's why we're asking you to kind of, what did you mean by that? Look over there. It was kind of embarrassing, really. It's like,
Tanya just said earlier that you're now an official bobblehead, Enzo. Congratulations, because that's what I make my little bobbleheads and put them in my pictures. Soul Seeker says, Mary from the space station post flying objects all the time on, what's that, MRMBB 33? What's that? What's that? What's that?
Mr. BB3. He's a guy who has a YouTube channel here on YouTube. But yeah, I've seen some of his stuff. I haven't watched him in quite a while. Yes. Okay. Oh, that was the other. Andy was very taken where they went to great detail to explain how to use your phone to photograph and document things around you. It's like, that's most of 90% of what is out there is because people are using their phones. We get it, NASA. We understand what a phone is. They were talking about, we may actually create like an app that uses AI that will help people to discover, it's like, no. That already exists. There's actually a few of them that you can go to the store online, whatever phone you have. Basically, there's a few apps out there where it uses the GPS in your phone. It uses your local time. If you like take pictures of stuff or whatever, and you submit it through this app,
and they track
GPS. It knows what direction your phone is pointed when even up at like an angle. It knows because all of that information is already on your phone. Where if you snap a picture at something you see in the sky, it'll know the angle you're holding it up at. It knows your GPS coordinates. It has the exact time, which if NASA had all that, they could go back. It's like, okay, we know exactly where this person was, what direction, what angle up in the sky, even if it's just like a couple of lights or whatever. They could go back and search the records. Okay, this weather system was moving through. These airplanes were in the area. These things, basically, they could rule out the stuff that they know. So,
well, that's helpful. I mean, that is helpful, so long as they're rigid and above board, and they're not going to say, oh, shit, they got a picture of that thing we're working on. What will we tell them? It's an air balloon.
It was the way they presented it, like it was some brand new idea. We're going to make an application for your phone and that's the new buzzword, of course, nowadays is, and it'll use AI. AI is the new buzzword to make it sound like it'll be more fantastical and amazing. No, we're not creating a story out of some half-ass chatbot, but and there's already stuff out there that already exists that does this actually fairly well. For NASA to come, it's like we're thinking about doing that. It's like, wow, I wonder where you got that idea. It's just really bad.
The thing I noticed with what's been going on over the last few weeks, with firstly the Congress hearing, then the Mexican one, which was, I don't know what to think, but I mean, it was interesting. And now the NASA, the one thing I've noticed, oh, thank you, Stormy Night. The one thing I've noticed is that where before anyone would talk about a UFO, cuckoo, cuckoo.
Yeah, exactly.
So although not everything has been positive the last few weeks, to me, it's like 80% positive, maybe a 20% sort of, don't know. But at least now people are talking about this as like it's an admission by the government, NASA, etc. Yes, there are things that we cannot explain. So therefore, yes, they're a UFO. But NASA was interesting. But we're not saying they're aliens. It's not from outer space. So they're not confirming that.
Which is fair, because if you have a picture of lights in the sky at night, I don't know where it's from. I don't know what its mailing address is. It could be
from
some
something
secret.
from here.
It could be something from China. It could be something from Russia. It could be something from somewhere else. All around. That's terrestrial, made by human hands. Just seeing something like that, you can't really break it down to say, yep, that's them Zeta Reticuli guys or whatever it is. So
yeah,
it's I kind of get that, and honestly, that's the correct answer. Is like we can't, and even if they ruled all of those other things out, they still can't exactly commit. It's like, whoop, must be from outer space. It's like, well, somebody made it. Whether or not they would have to leave that option open. It's like we don't know where it's from or who made it or how it got there.
So Sandy says, if they're not saying they are aliens, then obviously they know what it is.
Right.
Well, yeah, because but like Andy says just there, we're not saying it's aliens, but it's aliens because they're not committing themselves.
like Giorgio.
Yeah, I think that NASA has always complained it doesn't get enough money, like funding, right, which I think is true. Like nothing much has happened since. In my opinion, there's not been anything really big happen since Challenger blew up. And honestly, I don't mean that.
If Elon Musk hadn't started up SpaceX, we'd still be hitching rides with the Russians all the time.
Yeah, so you know what I mean. So I don't know, but I think the space exploration, got to be careful, I suppose. But I mean, we're nowhere near being able to go and annoy another planet other than Mars. No. So I'd like to see more exploration of the dark side of the moon. I'd like just to know what's there, like not to do anything, not to live there or anything, just go there and have a bit of a gander and see. Oh well, bring back some space rocks. We could buy some space rocks to put in our garden, or what do you call it, moon rocks.
a few weeks ago, India landed a probe on the southern pole of the moon, which that's the most interesting part. That's basically going to be our gold rush area for the moon right now, because it's right at that point where the shadow of the moon goes, where there's deep craters that there could be ice that's permanently down the bottom of these craters where the sun never hits it.
Yep.
And why that's good is you can do a lot with water, frozen water. You can make fuel out of it. You can, something to drink. You can, break it down to where you've got two hydrogens and an oxygen, so you can breathe it and turn it into fuel. There's a lot you can do where that's something that we don't have to ship up there in the beginning, where that's the biggest part about making a moon base or whatever on any, or making even a Mars base or whatever, is shipping all the stuff that you need up there is extremely expensive.
And if there's already water. Hey, Stormy Night, thank you for popping in. Seriously, thanks. And have a lovely night if it's nighttime where you are.
Sorry I bored you.
Oh, no. But what's Soul Seeker say? I watched a real interesting video yesterday about the poles shifting, so I believe that's why so much going is. Well, I actually, speaking of that, I did. Now, what's his name, Karen? What's his name? He's been on Joe Rogan. He wrote a book. He's into
Graham Hancock.
Yes, thank you. Yes. Yeah, and they always say Graham, and I'm like, it's Graham, but anyway.
Graham Hancock. I got to see him speak at the Contact in the Desert this year.
Oh, I would love to be locked in a room with him for days. I could just let him talk and talk and talk and talk. He's got so much stuff, but he spoke about that, about the poles, and explained about that. And he also explained something else that's going to happen in 30 years, which is something, and this is where I wanted you to help me. And so it's something I think to do with space and something that comes close to the Earth, and it was, I'm thinking it was maybe once a meteor or something, and they broke it up, but it's got a name, and it comes close, and it really interferes with the Earth somehow really badly, and can create floods and stuff. Yeah, he said 30 years from now. Shit. I'll look it up and I'll message it to you. Hang on,
I'm
let
not
me
sure
see.
what that would be. But
I don't know.
It's a good idea to kind of split us up because all we got to do is look at any museum that has dinosaur bones in it and say, well, that was 65 million years ago. It could happen again, and certainly smaller meteors have hit the Earth and certainly done plenty of damage, but of course nothing at that scale. Where it wiped out most of the life on the planet when that occurred. Because when the big one that hit 65 million years ago that wiped out all the dinosaurs, that hit actually a little bit off of Chicxulub in Mexico, there in the Gulf of Mexico, and there was a fireball that it created from the impact, even hitting in the ocean, that spread out several hundred miles and threw up so much dirt, debris, and stuff like that, where there were giant chunks of molten magma thrown up into the atmosphere to hit like the other side of the planet, which apparently is over there. I don't know why I just pointed like that, but that was the big one. That's one of those things that, like, if that happened today, I don't know that we would necessarily survive, because basically nothing on Earth that was bigger than like a cat survived anywhere on the whole planet, because it throws all this dust and debris up into the atmosphere, which sits there by the old nuclear winter type trope that we talked about back when nuclear war was a thing that we were concerned was going to happen during the Cold War, where so much debris gets thrown up and it just floats there in the atmosphere, so no sun gets through, so can't grow crops. Everything that uses photosynthesis dies off. Everything that lives off of those plants dies off, and so on down the tree until you got nothing left, where
I just
the most hardiest survive.
Yeah, I just hope that when it happens, I'm right in the middle. Like, rather than, let's just hope we all just go and we're done.
I have to be honest, that's why one of the reasons I joined the Air Force in 1985. It's like, if we're going to get just nuked, I want the missile to hit me right on top of the head.
Yeah, just
when it hit.
And then we'll find out what's on the other side. That's the interesting thing. I also, watching Hancock, that's what I mean. Your brain just almost explodes listening to him. But he was talking about, what's that drink you can get down in the Amazon that makes you space out, and it's a mind altering, like LSD, but it's not LSD. Ayahuasca. Yes, ayahuasca. I'd love to have some of that, but you'd want to be with people that were safe. Like, you'd really want to be down in the Amazon, like where they know.
That's actually usually where I kind of lean away from him a little bit, from Grant Hancock, because he certainly has had a period of time where he will sit endlessly talking about hallucinogenics and things like that allow you for a more open mind and things like that.
He
I'm not necessarily a big subscriber of, but okay.
No, the reason I wanted to, the reason I thought that would be awesome just to try is because he said, well, for him, he said when he went under, he saw aliens and they told him they were going to take him away, and he screamed no and then came out of it. And he said no, he had to sort of let him take him. But I just thought to myself, I have heard, and I don't think it's that, I can't remember, is it LSD that they treat people with now for severe depression, that you can go in and you can basically have a drip it's all monitored and stuff. And
microdoses, I guess they call it. It's interesting because and Graham talks about this, where there have been studies where they have multiple separate groups all taking a very measured, very small amount of LSD or ayahuasca or something like that. And they kind of go on this little mental field trip and they see things. And then as soon as it only lasts, 5-10 minutes, and they write down immediately everything. People were seeing the same thing and the same entities on these mind trips that they were going on. So that's where your machine elves come in. That's, things like that, where there are entities that we can't perceive that are around us all the time, kind of a thing. And sometimes get shocked, as I understand it. It's like, oh, suddenly you can see us. Hi, kind of a thing.
Yeah. But that's oh, sorry, go. Well, it is strange that it fits into, me and my timey-wimey stuff and the dimensions and all that sort of thing. Kind of fits in, kind of like if you're living, if we're all here but in different, slight off kilter to each other, and then somehow this makes it that you can see, but then it goes away. Like, I don't know. My mind explodes. I just wanted to say hey to Catherine, who's just popped in and asked, what have you missed? Honestly, I don't know. We've just been talking about all sorts, which is normal. Timey-wimey, alien stuff, and animals. Animals
wibbly wobbly.
Yeah. Wibbly wobbly, timey-wimey. The other thing that Hancock was talking about, and that's the question I had for you, was that most of the pyramids that are built, every pyramid that they've found ever, is the one that faces north something or other. But he said it's all aligned with a particular star cluster, like that's how it's aligned. And he said
Orion. The great pyramids in Egypt and Cairo there. It's 3 pyramids, 2 are about the same size and there's one that's slightly smaller. Those align perfectly with the belt of Orion, which is the constellation, which for us in the northern hemisphere is a wintertime type constellation, so people could start seeing that. And plus it has, right to, like, if you're looking at Orion, to the lower left of it is the star Sirius, the dog star. And it's the brightest star that you can see from Earth. It's not necessarily the brightest, per, each one, because some are further away, so they're not going to look the same. But as far as, visually looking from the planet's surface without a telescope, Sirius is the brightest one. And Sirius is a big player for a lot of these ancient cultures. Orion is a big thing because there's not a lot of dimmer stars around it, and then there's very bright stars that make up, the belt of Orion. And just below that, there's several other stars, which like one of them is actually a giant nebula that's very bright, the great Orion Nebula, which is amazing to see. Through even just a set of binoculars, it looks great. And it's so big, it takes up this giant chunk of the sky, because you have to remember, prior to electricity, or when people were just living by campfires at night was your source of light. Once the sun went down, you kind of didn't have a whole lot else to do but kind of sit around the campfire, which you would basically light up at night to keep the animals away, and sit and look at the sky. The sky was their internet. It was their TV. And they would make up fantastical stories about the shapes of the stars. It's like, oh, this is Orion the Hunter, and this is Canis Major, which is a dog, and this Canis Minor, which is a smaller dog. All of these things, which is how we get our modern day constellations from all of these stories. And there's a lot of crossover for many different cultures that all did the same thing. Looked at the sky and made up stories about things that they saw.
Now, Puerto Rican. True story. In my 20s, I was abducted for 3 days by aliens. Then my cousin-in-laws went back to Doctor Perspective Unlocked. What does that mean? Is that an American thing? Have I missed something? What does that mean? Did you really?
I don't know if DR is meaning doctor or because it's capitalized, it's Dominican Republic. I'm not sure.
Oh,
explain more. I'd have to ask for a follow. Yeah. I'd like to hear more. I'd love to hear more.
Yes, explain more. What's Mike O say? The middle light source of Orion is actually 1,100 light years across or something like that. That's a lot. That's big, isn't it?
It's a good size.
That's what she said. I couldn't help it. I beat you, Tanya.
Since I'm a nerd, I'll show my background. This is the Milky Way galaxy. We're like here. Yep. This little, the unfashionable Western.
Wasn't it? The Milky Way. Isn't that where the Robinsons were headed and then they got lost?
They were going to
where were they going?
Alpha Centauri, I think.
Alpha Centauri.
Star to us, yeah. But our whole the Milky Way galaxy, which is, if you're in like a very dark place and you see that band going across the sky, that lighter band that looks almost like a cloud, but it's not. It's our galaxy. You're seeing these other arms of the galaxy is what you're seeing. And of course, the brightest part, if you were to look towards Sagittarius, is right in the middle, is where the center is. So things are a lot more compact right there. But this whole thing is about 100,000 light years across from end to end.
That's huge.
That's very large.
I'm glad you're here, Sunsaver. Here to save the day.
Yeah, Sunsaver.
Tanya wants to know whether or not you got probed, Puerto Rican.
Oh, that's kind of personal, I think.
That's personal. Oh, Catherine. All right, that's enough. Children. That's enough, children. Yeah, I just find lately I've just kind of been looking at, like, watching different people talk and taking little bits of what everyone says, not as gospel, just as, oh, that's interesting. That sounds interesting. I wouldn't mind looking more into that or whatever. It's just all these different links of the stars and the cosmos and alien ships. And are they alien ships? Are they undersea? Are they already here? Were they here before we were? Are we their experiment? Like, oh my Lord, like what? I don't know. And I don't know. And then of course, when I did my little episode on Waverley and put that thing together and then got that singing thing, that made me go, what the hell? Like, honestly, people before that, even with knowing, hey, Adventures with Beth, even knowing that friends of mine have caught EVPs and things, I trust them and I know they have, but it's very different when you catch one yourself and you go, oh, and especially that really did my head in, because that, if it had come almost on top of mine or with mine or something, would have been me. It would have been an echo, but it didn't.
Yeah, someone was singing along with you. That was the one that most impressed me. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, the other ones, I don't know, could be anything. But that one was like, where the hell? And then that made me think. I thought, I didn't think ghost. I started to think, and I thought, all right, back in the day, that was an entrance for the staff. And an exit. That's the way into the hospital, way out of the hospital. That's what they did. And then it made me think, well, that timey-wimey stuff, that dimensional stuff, I don't know. Like, was it just really someone, you know what I'm trying to say, and I'm not really saying it properly, but were they actually just there, but somehow time crossed over, and so that was just someone else that, for whatever reason, I don't know.
That's that bigger question of what are ghosts?
What are these?
And what are these things? Is it a snapshot in time that they're repeating over and over, and you just happen to be able to hear it, listen to it, or maybe even see it? Have they died and they're stuck there in this hellish afterlife of being stuck in this decrepit, disintegrating building? and can't leave, and you're
that would be
catching them.
Horrible.
Yeah. And things like that. It's one of those questions you have to ask as a ghost type investigator. It's like, what is going on here? What am I looking at?
And it's given me a little bit of a fresh, I was starting to get a little bit like, oh God, I don't know. No one ever seems to really catch anything that like people catch stuff and you go, well, could it be this? Could it be that? Could it be this? And there's usually like you can definitely hear things and you think, wow. But until, like you said, when you said, oh, do you believe in this and that? But then when you see it yourself, like, I know I'm not lying. I know I didn't make it up. I know it's not. And I knew, and it's really annoying to me that in the moment I did say something to Cassie. I thought Cassie had copied me in the back and I said, oh, are you singing too? And she goes, what? No. Why didn't I turn around and say, oh, everyone stop then? Because I just dismissed it in the moment. Yeah. Bloody hell.
The amount you put a counter in that.
I had to. I was annoyed. Shh. I'm like, oh my God. Oh, there was more shushes than that, but I just thought I'd leave it at 3. Actually, while I was there, I did want to do a few different little things and I didn't get opportunity to do it, which is disappointing. But I kind of feel, because obviously I just talk a lot. And I kind of empathize. So when I go in to places, it's like an empathy. It's like, all right. So I'm a nurse, and I was in what was primarily a hospital, a tuberculosis hospital. So I kind of thought, okay, I know how patients feel when they're stuck in hospital for too long. I've been a patient in hospital for 6 weeks. It was like it does your head in. And I thought, well, if I just talk out loud, blah, 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 or sing like I did in the thingo, and try to empathise with them if in that moment that they may have been there. Because I kind of, honestly, like I was saying before, I get a feeling it's in the moment that they were there, not that they're there now. It's hard for me to explain how I feel, but I thought, oh, all right, I wanted to put my teddy bear and ball down and just talk and just sort of like they're there, but then not now. Does that make sense? So sort of say, hey, you guys must be bored. Do you want to come and play with the ball? Do you want to play with the teddy bear? Da-da-da-da, and talk to them. I set it up, but I never got opportunity to do it. Just because I kind of wonder, I kind of think that I'm getting more and more thinking that it's more a time thing than it is a ghost.
So is your thoughts that you're hearing someone or communicating with someone from like I forget the years that Waverly was active, like 1935 or something like that, and we'll just use that as an example. Do you think you're hearing or interacting with someone from 1935?
Yeah. Like, but it's strange because then I also have the feelings, and most everyone in here has heard me, except probably Andy, talk about when my son passed away at the moment, and you know the story. That's the other thing that gets me, because of actually something Hancock said and other people have said, that somehow we're connected like a collective, mentally we're a collective. So when, for me as a mother, I lost my son that night, but I didn't know I'd lost him, but I felt this very strong, overwhelming feeling that I shouldn't have been feeling myself. It was, and I wonder if we do have the ability on some realm to, in the moment, be present somewhere else at the time of our passing. But does that mean that we still stay? I don't think so, but does it mean that maybe when you're on that other realm or of existence, I hope I'm not sounding too crazy, but just like our soul leaves.
I'm about to go crazier here in a second. Go ahead.
Well, okay. So our soul, so we die. dead meat, because this is all it is. It's meat, right? So our soul, our energy goes, and for a moment is in the in-between. Like, it sounds like that TV show. We're in between. So when we're dead, we're not in our body, but we've not yet gone to wherever the next level is. We're somewhere in between, waiting for someone from that next level to come say, come on, this is what we're doing. And you're still letting go of this plane. So maybe in that moment, you've got that time to do that. And then somehow maybe time itself embraces that moment. And so therefore, when you go and hunt somewhere for a ghost, maybe even when you see a ghost, or I've never seen a ghost, but when you hear something or whatever, maybe it is just a snapshot in time in a certain thing that we just yet don't understand. And it's not really a ghost. It's just we're hearing something from the past that still has the ability to shoot in, shoot out. Maybe we can still shoot in, shoot out, but our brains haven't developed enough to be able to actually do that. So we're still very immature with our brain and what we're able to do with it. We haven't developed that yet.
To take it like that next step further, which is where I was going to go, because I'm just a psycho like that, is, all right, you're talking to someone that is just doing their job, making their rounds in 1935 as our example. Does that mean that here in 2023, someone that's in 2063 could be trying to communicate with you right now?
Well, how many times, and everyone will know what I'm talking about here. Yes, that's what I was talking about before with Enzo, that I would like to try that, because that's what I've heard, that because we produce that naturally, DMT. It's getting produced now in our bodies, but we need it. But obviously we don't produce in that. And we produce it mainly at night, which is interesting, which leads into funny dreams we might have. Because I thought about that the other day. You know how sometimes when people, all right, I'm going to ask people stuff now. This is what happens to me, and so I go all over the place. My brain is going a million miles an hour. Number one, how many people have heard their telephone ring or thought of somebody, really thought of someone and thought, oh, geez, I should call, and then they call you. Or you call them and they'll go, I was just thinking about you.
Yes.
There's something in that. There really is something. I don't think that's coincidence. I think somehow, some way, somehow there's something in that. And the thing about the DMT being produced, yes, I saw it pop up. Thank you, Sandy. I'll look at it in a minute. The other thing I thought of too was when they say, like, I've had a dream and my mother come to me in my dream, it seems so real, and I've had dreams like that where people that have passed away, not my son hasn't come to me, bugger, but my nana did, my grandma did, and we were having this big conversation in her kitchen, and she was telling me what I should do and to be careful and all this sort of thing. She was making scones and a cup of tea, and she said, I've got to go now, and she walked out, and I stood up in the dream. I stood up and chased her, and she disappeared, and I woke up all upset. And it felt so real. It really felt, and she gave me proper life advice. It was weird. And I wonder if, therefore, now that I'm learning more about different things in the human body, if in some way, maybe at certain times, our bodies do produce too much of that while we're asleep. And that is our ability to be able to venture into what they say they do when they have purposely take the DMT to experience these, I don't know, what would you call them, Enzo? Mind melds? I don't know. But I don't know.
Or something? I don't know.
Yeah. And that's why, and that's why I wonder too, when you hear a lot of people say, I saw a ghost, it was standing at the end of my bed, or a lot of people say I was wide awake or whatever. And that's the interesting thing too. I've been wide awake. I swear I was wide awake, but maybe I wasn't. I don't know. But where I've seen somebody and it scared the absolute crapper out of me just after the night after they'd committed ending themselves, right? So I'm now because I'm scientific in mind. I'm not. There has to be a reason. The same as our bodies work. Our bodies are a machine. They work in a certain way, and if you alter the way they work, you get sick. You put on weight. You develop diabetes. You whatever. So I don't know. So now I'm just like, my mind's just in overtime. I'm just all the time. I'm just like, yeah, I'm not sure about mediums. I don't know. But I'll tell you what I am doing in October before I come over to America. I've seen him once before, John Edwards, the psychic man. Now, I like John because I have actually met John, and I think he's a delightful man. And whether or not he can truthfully really do what he does, I don't know. But in saying that, at the time that I lost my son, I watched a lot of his stuff. And honestly, if I hadn't have probably watched his stuff, because of the way he would talk and say they're still with you and they're still around, it got me through a really bad time. So I credit him with me still being here, to be quite honest, because it didn't really matter to me who was still here after Stephen went. It really didn't. I didn't care to wake up. I didn't want to. But I watched that, and it made me, slap out of it. But so I'm going to see him in October, and I'll see. But yeah, a lot of mediums, you've got to be careful because they know how to ask questions, and you're really, honestly, unless you know what they're doing, which I've studied up a little bit on how they do it. What do you call them, other people that do the things and you're blown away? There used to be a mind, what are they called? Mentalists. They know. They can read you. They can ask questions that you think are absolutely irrelevant, but they'll pick up on things. Some of them are even dirtier than that. Some of them will look you up and research you if they can through Facebook and all that sort of thing before you come. If you give them some people say, all I need is your name and date of birth. I'm just going to do a star chart for you. What you've just given them is your name and date of birth, and if you're on any social media thing, likelihood is they can probably find something on you. Maybe not. And maybe that's when you go to see them and they'll say things like, they'll dig. I'm getting, I'm sure it's your grandmother that's just passed. And if it is, you go, oh, yes, 10 years ago. Or if it is, they've hit pay dirt because they're whatever. Or you could say,
which,
it wasn't my grandmother.
Your age, like, okay, your grandparents probably aren't with you, so that's a good guess. And I'm sensing a name with like a J, like a John or a Jane or something. It's like Jerry. Yes, that's it. It's like.
Who's Andrew Rodriguez? Oh, how do you say that? Radzwitz. Who is it, Andy?
I don't know who that is either.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying they're not, because that's that they're not able, that there's not people out there who are sensitive or whatever, because I don't know. But there's certainly a lot of fake people out there, like there really is. And I mean, I went to a couple. One woman told me that my son was going to have another child, and he was this and that and the other. And I'm like, I was sitting there looking at her, and I'm going, and I said to her, it would be a little bit hard. And she said, oh, why is that? And I said, because he's dead. And she looked at me, and I said, it's okay. I said, you're obviously not getting anything today. I wanted to try to still be polite, but I said, you're obviously not picking up things today. It's okay. We'll just end it here. And I walked out. I thought, you stupid woman. Huh. Like, there's people out there who don't realize they can do a lot of harm. Or you go to see a lot of harm. You go to see someone who reads a tarot cards and says to you, your future is this. Tarot cards aren't a fortune-telling thing. Then that's not what they are. They're a thing that you put out in front of you and gives you a little story, and somehow maybe that story fits in with your life, and it's like a guidance tool. So then whoever's reading the cards can say to the person, Oh, so at the moment, are you thinking of a new job or something, are you? Yes, I am. Well, have you thought of it? It's a guidance tool. It's like it's seeing a counsellor. It is not your future says this is going to happen. People think it is, but that's not what the tarot is. So anyone that you go to and says your future is bright, according to the tarot cards, no, that's their opinion. You could get hit by a bus tomorrow, guys. Just be careful. Watch either way. But unfortunately, a lot of people don't understand how certain things work, and they take it as gospel. And these people will make serious life choices based on the fact that some lady that they don't know from a bar of soap has just told them that according to the tarot, they're going to win the lotto, meet a new man, and have another child. And it's like, oh, I don't know. I don't know. So I don't know. I don't know what I think. But if I was going to trust anyone, it'd probably be John Edwards. So we'll see, shall we? Because I'm going to try and get a reading from him. So watch this space. What happens.
At the end of this month, I'm going to be part of.
Yes, I saw that, guys. Yes, please spruik it now. Talk about it now, Enzo, Mr. Special Guest Speaker. That's what Enzo's going to do.
Well, here we'll go super crazy and actually share the ad if we're going to.
Yeah, go on.
But I'm going to be part of the Border Town Paranormal Paracon in Southeast Kansas, where we're going to have a ton of speakers. We're going to have if you're going to be in the Southeast Kansas, Oklahoma, Arkansas and Missouri area, swing on by. It is free to attend. You will have to pay whatever they're charging for tarot readings, oracle readings, and medium readings. So that's up to you. But going to have a ton of different people speaking at it. This is an all-day affair on that Saturday, September 30th. I will be kind of chairing because we'll have specific speakers for like an hour, and then we'll have a panel discussion. And I'm kind of chairing all of the panels because I can kind of talk about anything. I'll talk the legs off of a chair. I can do that. So
just like me, Enzo.
Yeah. So I'll be in close contact with some folks that believe things I may not necessarily believe in myself, but I'll give them the fair shake, and I want to hear what they have to say. And that's even if this wasn't going on, I would still do the same thing. But
I was just going to say, I'm looking at this picture. I can see you. There's you. Does my mouse work on that? Can you see my mouse moving?
No.
All right. Yeah, you move. There's you. Now, 2 above you right at the top on that picture. Guy? So use your mouse to point up. So right top row above you.
Oh, this guy.
I can't see your mouse now.
Oh,
yes.
Right. This guy?
Yeah. No, next one. Up above
that
him.
One or that one? Above him. No, Brian Terrell from Oklahoma. I believe he is a...
no, he just looks like Captain Kangaroo.
Oh.
And then if you look up the other end and one below, that looks like George Costanza.
This guy here?
Yeah, there's George. Just looking at look, and there's even a Taylor Swift in the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4th from the there's Taylor Swift. Look at all these stars that'll be at the Border Paracon.
I know, it's star-studded. When you squint your eyes, you'll be amazed at the personalities you'll see. Yeah, it's we have in this whole group, we've got paranormal investigation groups, we've got Bigfoot people, we've got ghost hunter people, we got UFO people, we got a pretty well-rounded crowd. I think there's going to be door prizes, raffles, the whole spiel. It's going to be a good time.
If I was there, I'd come, but I'm not there until November.
Well, I'm afraid we can't wait. We're going to go ahead and roll into
I know. It. So if anybody in the chat is in the area, that's where it is. So Border Town Paracon.
Yeah, Border Town Paranormal is the website. You can find out more details there. And as I said, free admission. So you can come and sit and listen to all of us jabber from 10 a.m. till 7:30 p.m. So
that's pretty cool that it's free to get in. But a lot of people, like you say, will be offering different things, merch and all that sort of stuff. So
off to the side, there will be, somebody doing tarot readings and oracles and mediums, and you'll have some of the other groups that'll have, their merch if you want to buy, paranormal investigators. I guaranteed it's a black T-shirt with whatever their logo is on it. I don't know why they all always have to have a black T-shirt, but it's a little something that I was asked if I could attend, and that specific area in Kansas where it's at there's a lot of weird stuff that happens there. I mean, it's like forget Skinwalker Ranch. This place has it beat. They have crazy stuff. Hey, it's Heather.
Hello.
Hello, my beautiful friend. What have you been up to today?
Oh, this morning, well, getting ready for work, doing some housework, and I'm working later on this afternoon. So it was just a quick good day today. And how do you do?
Actually, I'm glad you popped in, Heather. When you were here, Enzo's just spruiked his. He's going to be at. You and I are out of luck, but it's in Oklahoma.
Southeast Kansas. Caney,
why do I always say Oklahoma when I'm talking about you? And it's Kansas. Toto.
It's
Wizard of
Oz.
The
same. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it's one of the square ones in the middle. That's good enough.
Yeah, he's going to be one of the guest speakers, sort of like host type thing of a Paracon at the end of the month. But I'm still here. One of the kids is going to kill my dog for me. I wanted to ask, you can't hear my chihuahua, but I can. I wanted to ask you, Heather, when you were here and you were sitting outside and that lady came and spoke to you and she told you about a ghost upstairs in the hotel.
Yeah.
What was the name of that hotel? Do you remember off the top of your
head? The Wickham.
It was the Wickham.
Yes.
Because whenever I research any haunted places around Brisbane, there are plenty. Usually they say the cemeteries. I don't want to go to a cemetery, but I want to go to a building of historic whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when you look at them, there's some offer paranormal type things, but you've got to go in. It's like a group of 20, and you've got to go. I don't want to do that. They don't offer like in America. You can say they'll say, oh yeah, it's $300 a night, or it's $150 a person, or whatever. They don't do that here in most of these places. It's kind of like you come in with our people and do one, but it's not like just their people and you. It's just their people and 20 other people who don't know how to shut up or whatever. I don't want to do that.
No.
I wondered, did you approach the Wickham at all while you were there and ask, or you didn't get time?
We did that night. But the manager says there's something about health and safety that they're not allowed up there. Because it's condemned apparently, but I'm not too sure if I believe that.
Yeah, maybe they just don't want that kind of, it's haunted getting out because they'll scare off the patrons. I doubt it. But anyway, all right. Yeah, well, I'm glad you asked.
Apparently it's well known.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's on a website as being supposedly haunted. Apparently, it's interesting. It also said that a man, when he was drunk, had fallen off the second, on the webpage I found, had fallen off the second story or something back in the day when he owned it, And I thought, oh, look, it could be anything. But it's because, thank you, Andy. Thank you. It was very nice of you to pop in. What was I going to say? A side-eye guy said that he would love to go and investigate somewhere with me, but it has to be close to home because the kids and all that sort of thing. And I thought, yeah, fair enough. So I've been looking, but oh my God, nobody's like, it's not like America. In America, you can go, oh yeah, we'll pay you $100 a night and we'll go and do this or whatever.
Well, where is the side-eyed guy?
He's in Brisbane.
Oh, he's in Brisbane. Oh.
Yeah. I mean, I would happily collect him and take him somewhere, I suppose, because he's
that's what we do in South Australia. What we did in Warwick that day, just book a hotel room and just wander the hotel and investigate. That's what you can do because
Yeah, but I'll keep searching. But yeah, like if I was in Melbourne, I'd have no. Oh, that's Enzo can hear your clock.
There's my clock. Do you want to see my cuckoo clock? Oh, I've got to go that way. Which way do I go? That way.
It's behind. Yeah, that way.
I can see the
there
weights. Yeah, there you go. It's up there. There it is.
There it is.
So whenever you hear my cuckoo clock, you know you can put a clock to the sound now.
Who else am I leaving? Who else is going? Oh, okay. Hey, Puerto Rican, do I say Jose? Because isn't it a J pronounced H?
Jose.
Yeah, like Jesus, or so to be Jose. Like
That's
Jose Feliciano.
Jose or Jose.
Does anyone remember him? Whatever happened to him? He was blind. Jose Feliciano. I think that was his name.
Oh.
He was a Mexican singer, and I'm sure he was blind. Geez, I'm sorry. I'm digging into the archives there. It was a long time ago. Yes. Well, bye, Jose. I wish I could speak Spanish. How come when I hear Mexican people speak, certain words I understand and I can almost kind of guess what they're saying, but then I can't repeat it to save my life.
We all share those Latin roots.
I think that's what it is, the Latin words.
Spanish, French, English there's
like
a lot
Montenegro.
of Latin roots in there. So.
Yeah, so Montenegro, they're talking. Yeah.
I can't believe I said that.
What did you do? What did I miss?
Nothing.
What did you do, Heather? People in the chat will tell me. Did they see it? Yeah. So long as you get
capture video. Yes. Okay. All right.
So Puerto Rico. I always get confused. There's, and I say Puerto Rico because I'm obviously very white, Puerto Rico, but it's Puerto. You say it different, don't you?
Puerto Rico.
Yep. I love that. I love how the Mexicans talk. I love it. I like it. I do. I like it. I like lots of languages. I like listening to. I just melt when I hear French people speak. I remember once watching. Oh God, Karen, what's his name? The guy who does karate, actor, hasn't been big in the 80s. Shit, good looking, from Belgium, but
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Thank you, Jean-Claude Van Damme. I'm used to listening to him.
Where are we going with this?
Yeah. I'm sorry. It's a good thing you're there, Enzo. Hey, Lab 15. He was in an interview once, just speaking English. He's got a nice accent, blah blah. He's good looking, blah blah. And then I saw him get interviewed in French, like he was speaking French, and I'm like, I don't know what you're saying, but here I am. I just when a man speaks French, there's something about the French language. What do you reckon, Heather?
Yeah, there is something special about French.
But mind you, a man with an English accent, like a real toffee-nosed English accent, is kind of nice too.
Toffee-nosed.
Yeah, toffee-nosed. And then Americans, when I was young, if someone spoke American, now I'm so used to people speaking American, I don't know. But when I was younger, if I ever met an American man in the street, I'd be like, "Oh, you're from America." Oh, yeah, but I'm an adult now. I'm past that silliness.
Yeah.
I told you when I came home from America, didn't I, Heather, that it was really hard for me because I'd been in America for 3 weeks at that time. Yeah. And I came home and I was at the airport, Yankee, whatever. And I got on the plane, and the air hostesses were Australian, but the person sitting next to me was American. So it wasn't until I got off the plane in Australia and started to walk out and got out and back to normal it really sounded so strange. All these people were talking Australian, and I'm like, what the hell? I'd already acclimatized to just hearing American accents.
Yeah.
And so the strangest thing, it took me about 2 days to get used to hearing my own accent again. It's the funniest thing.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. So, yeah, I'm just weird. So what are you up to this week, Heather?
This week, tonight, I'm working, and tomorrow I've got my mother's 80th part 2.
Yeah.
And
part 2.
Part
How come
2.
why does she get 2 birthdays?
Oh, because she's special. No.
Everyone has a birthday month now, it seems.
Yes.
Your birthday rolls around, it's like, we'll let this have a couple of weekends. Maybe 4.
I'm happy for my birthday to go. It's gone.
Yeah.
It's just another reminder that I'm closer to death. Yeah, Tanya, I'm a bit the same now. I think because we've got so many American friends that we listen to, we're used to hearing. It's even to the point now that, like, Heather and I chat a fair bit, but it's sort of to the point now that if you get too many Aussies on, it kind of feels weird. I know. It's kind of like, that's weird. It's another Aussie, but it's nice. But yeah, that's why. Oh, Heather, guess what?
Yeah.
I went into Brisbane, and you, Enzo, too, and everyone in the chat, right? So my daughter's got a teddy bear that she's had since she was a baby, and it's all, Catherine says to say happy birthday to your mum. So the teddy bears are all worn down and, in a cupboard because you can't touch them, they'll fall apart. I had a teddy from when I was born, so it would have been made in about 1960, 61. It's a rabbit. So I took the rabbit and I took the 2 teddy bears to the Doll and Teddy Hospital in Brisbane. Mm-hmm. So it's a little shop you walk into. It's got material, buttons and all that sort of thing. But this dear little man came up from the cellar or wherever he was, a Greek man. And he's the one that fixes up the toys, right? And in this shop, the minute you walk in, there's cases and cases and cases of old dolls. Old dolls. There was even a doll, that Let Me Out of Here. I went to meet there was a doll, but it was a ventriloquist doll, but it was wooden. It was like, I just kept looking in the windows going, oh. So he's going to fix up a dolly for me that I saw in the window. Because it's really, it was made in the 50s. It's not that old, but it's a walking doll, and I was so excited. So at the moment, my toys and teddies and things are in the hospital, and they should be ready to be discharged at the end of October. I know, Catherine. It is sweet, isn't it? By the way, I can't remember who it was made the comment earlier. I can't. It was way. I didn't have. We were talking, so I didn't comment. But someone said I look like Helen Mirren. That's a humongous compliment.
That was Andy Gambino, that friend of mine.
Oh, was that Andy said that? That's a huge. She's beautiful.
And honestly, I can see it. I think he's right.
Oh, I just need to start talking posh. I'll go and stay with. Have you frozen, Heather, or are you just? Oh no, there we go. I thought, oh no, Heather's frozen, but she's staring at her computer. You look nice and fresh today, Heather. There's something different. What is it? Can you hear me, Heather? Heather. Oh, she can't hear me. She's muted me. No, she's not talking. I can't hear you. No.
The cuckoo clock has stolen her voice. Yeah.
Adventures with Beth. I don't know. I don't know. It's a 1950s doll, and it's about 2 foot high, roughly. He's going to put it. He's going to. Oh well. Thank you for telling me I look like a very beautiful woman. Mm-hmm. Oh, was that you, Heather?
Yes.
There we go. Got you back.
I'm back.
Yeah, so I'm keeping an eye on the clock because I do believe Joe is going live at 1 p.m. my time. So we like to work together as a bit of a family and help each other out. I'm sure Joe will talk about something today. We've been all over the place today with our conversations, Heather. Oh, Heather, you probably didn't get time to watch my episode on the Waverly Hills thing, and you don't have to. But if you
I get time for anything these days.
No, but at some point, if you get time, go on to it, the second one, number 2, and go right to the end when we're walking up the tunnel. You'll see and listen to the EVP I call it of the singing. I sung, just that bit. I just want to get your view on it, but even Enzo says that was kind of weird. We were having a big combo about that before, about what we think about things. Getting into all the different aspects of what is it, a ghost or is it just a memory?
It's a deep rabbit hole. Yeah, it's easy to get lost.
Yeah, I went down a real deep. Do you need a hug, Heather? I feel like you need a
nap. That's what I need.
What time do you have to start work?
Oh, I've got to leave here about 1.
Oh shit!
Oh shit! It's 12 o'clock. I've got to go. I didn't even realise what the time was. Thanks, Karen. Enzo. Thank you. Love you. Bye.
Bye. Go get ready.
Whoa, that was a fast exit.
Yeah, well, she had to. If she's got to get to work by 1, she catches a bus, so she better wiggle it. She'll be right.
A lot of missing time there in your neck of the woods lately. You were late for the show.
Oh, I know. This morning, guys, I said 10:30, and for whatever reason, I thought 11 o'clock. And I came in and I sat down. I've got my water and all that sort of thing. And Enzo, a message popped up. Where are you? I'm here and I've gone, oh, he's early. And I clicked on it. I went, you idiot, Karen. It wasn't 11. It was 10:30. I was a bit off kilter because Crow went live this morning. He told me he was going live and stuff. And I said, no worries. And I must have said, I don't know why I thought 11 o'clock and then whatever. And then I went into his live and saw that he was there. And then I went and, fed the birds and did bits and put my crown on. And
Enzo is always on time.
Look, Paranormal Chop.
That's Sunny from Paranormal Chop Shop, another good friend of mine.
Hello, Sunny. Hey, Sunny. Oh, I haven't got much time left. I've got to be off at 1 o'clock. But has Sunny got time? Can you send him a link now? Would he have time to pop on and tell us his Bigfoot story, the stinky story? Because I know the story, but people in the chat don't know the story. Do you reckon? Can you?
He actually hasn't told anybody about that. Let me see if I can find out.
Just ask him if he wants to, because I don't know how to get. You can just forward him the link, can't you? Or no?
Yeah, I can do that.
Sunny's funny, guys. Sunny's got his own channel called the Paranormal Chop Shop, and Enzo is often on Chop Shop with Sunny and some others. But Sunny's funny. I like him. He tells some. Oh, he says he will. There you go. Sure, I could do that. He says. So you're about to get. Yeah, you're about to get a funny.
He says, "Give me 2 minutes."
Oh, okay. He's got to put on his makeup and brush his hair.
His studio is out in his garage, so he needs to go out there and set that up. So I'm sure he's probably on his phone or something like that.
Yeah, no, but I do go in and watch Chop Shop when I remember, or if I see them on, and Enzo's often on there with them as well. So they're boys. They have funny boy chats. They're good. They're good value. Yeah, I like watching them. Sunny told a story. He's probably got more than one about the Bigfoots, but
I think there is more because Sonny is a hunter and he has a hunting camp that's out in the middle of nowhere, and saw some strange stuff there in Southern California where he's at. Well, it's not exactly Southern California, Central California where he's at, which once you get out away from, Los Angeles, San Diego, San Francisco, all that. California is amazingly this amazing, beautiful wilderness that you don't think of when you think California.
Here's Sunny and Betty. Bye bye, night, and thanks for being here. Thank you. And here is Sunny.
What's up, y'all? How's it going, guys?
So yeah, guys, this is Sunny, and as I say, he's got his own channel, so go and check it out at some point. Paranormal Chop Shop.
Right.
Yeah, I was watching the boys one night, and Sunny. Well, I just said then to Enzo, you probably got lots of Bigfoot stories, lots of strange stories, but there was one in particular that made me laugh because I thought if it were me, I just wouldn't have set camp there at all. But you can tell whatever story you want, Sunny. But
okay.
Yeah, so here we go.
I'll start by telling, I'll be a little distracted here. I'm going to try to see if I have a video I might even be able to share and you can pop up.
We
can just show it.
World premiere video.
Well, yeah. You know the little short one I sent you, Enzo?
Yeah.
That shows like where it's at right outside the trailer and everything. I'll look it up right now. Let me see if I can find that. But anyways, guys, this is what happened. I was there hunting. I'm above Shaver Lake in California. At probably around 7,400 feet, 7,200 feet, somewhere in between there. I came out of my trailer, and I want to say it was Friday morning because I do my shows on Fridays usually. I came out of the trailer and honestly thought somebody was messing with me. I found a print on the outside of my trailer of it looks like a big human footprint. It's just way too big. Okay. I'm resending the video to myself right now, and then we're going to have something to share. I'll be able to show you guys what I'm talking about.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Dogs are attacking.
No, leave the dogs. I'm a pet lover. Doggies can bark. It's okay. Woof, woof, woof. Shut up.
Yeah, exactly. That's
I'm sorry.
what he just said.
I'm sorry. I was giving the dogs commands to be quiet. There's people working out back. It's a little loud.
Oh, okay.
Sorry about that. But anyways, I came outside the trailer, and I was 100% for sure somebody was messing with me because all I seen was one footprint. All right. And I was like, dude, it's just so perfect. You know, this one footprint's so perfect. Well, I got home and I was showing my grandson that video as I was sending it to somebody to show them. And I rewatched the video, and in the video, you can clearly see there's another set of toe prints right next to the footprint. I just didn't see it standing there, but you can see it on the video. I just didn't see it. So I record that. And then there's actually a longer video too. It's like 11 minutes long. I walk around everywhere, recording everything around the whole camp because I'm trying to find more prints of something, even just a bear print. Like if I could find another print, but maybe this one was going to be a better print. And it was going to look like a bear track because there was no claw marks on the track. It's just a big human footprint. and I wear a size 11. For my hunting boots. They're Ariat size 11 boots. They're pretty big. And I put my foot up next to it in this video, and you guys will clearly see how much bigger it is than my foot.
This is a world exclusive, people.
I haven't seen it. Guys, I do run Paranormal Chop Shop, so I get to hear these stories all the time. I've had people come on and tell me about Bigfoot, and I've heard that Bigfoot can cloak. He can make himself invisible. I've heard stories that people say Bigfoot can not only cloak, but he can sometimes transport from place to place. Okay. I've heard all these stories, guys. All this weird stuff. And I'm going to be honest. Some of these people are my friends that are telling me these stories. So I want to believe them. I just physically don't. And I hope no one thinks I'm an asshole for that, guys. I don't believe in it, okay? Because I have been hunting in these woods where Bigfoot supposedly lives here in California for the last 15 years straight. And I've never seen a track. I've never had anything happen, okay? So the video I'm actually sending myself right now to show you guys is going to explain kind of the story I just told. It's going to show you that footprint right outside my trailer. What it doesn't show, though, is like 4 hours later, I don't have a phone signal where I'm at because I'm so far out deep in the mountains in the woods. So if I drive to this certain mountain like 20 minutes away from where I'm camped, I'll get a phone signal. Now, when I go there to use my phone, if I was to try to call you just on the regular telephone service, it doesn't really go through. But if I use Messenger and I make a phone call through Messenger, I can use FaceTime or just regular phone call through Messenger. It works perfect. So I was on with a lady named Cassie, and we were on FaceTime. And I was telling her not to book a show for tonight or set up a show for tonight. I won't be here. I'm not going to be home. I'm staying up in the mountains an extra day. So while I'm talking to her, I'm using FaceTime. I don't use FaceTime a lot. So I'm trying to show her, and I'm walking down the side of my pickup. Okay, my pickup is facing this way. So I'm walking from the front of my truck towards the back of my truck. I'm parked on the side of a dirt road in the middle of the mountains, no one around. I'm trying to zoom my phone in as I'm walking, guys, and I can't do it. So I get frustrated, and I come to a complete stop, right? But as soon as I stop trying to get the phone to zoom in, a rock comes down from out of nowhere, hits the bed of the truck so hard, the lady on the phone screams, because it sounded like you hit my truck with a hammer, and she screams, "What the was that?" And I go, "Someone just threw a effing rock at me." I get so mad that I look up to where the rock came from, which I figure someone has a deer blind there, and I just didn't see him, and I start telling him, "Do you throw another rock at me, you picked the wrong guy, I'll whoop your ass. I'm gonna hurt you when I find you." So I stayed there for like 15 minutes looking for this person, just waiting for him to move because I know he's got camouflage on and I can't see him. And nothing, I never could find anything. So something threw a rock at me, and I never could find what threw the rock at me. 4 hours after I recorded that video, it's all happening like at one time. So I go from not really believing in Bigfoot to there is a possibility that there is something huge out in the woods that leaves these huge footprints and possibly threw a rock at me.
Wow.
I couldn't find anybody, and I looked for a good 15 minutes. That poor lady was on the phone. I at one point I had just dropped the phone in the seat. I could hear her talking. I actually had my bow in my hand, and I was looking up the mountain for somebody. I was that mad because the rock, guys, I can't even explain it. It just barely missed my face when it came down. When I stopped, I would have kept walking. It would have hit me right in the head. But I stopped, and it hit the truck. Bang! As soon as I stopped, it hit the truck. It was that fast. It was.
And it took a chunk out of the paint, right? It went down to the metal.
Yeah, I sent Enzo a video of that too. It took a chunk out of my paint and went down into the metal of the truck. It's now rusted. It took the primer and everything out. That little hole now is rusted already from me being up there in the rain last week. But yeah, it almost knocked me out, guys. So I went from being a non-believer. I went from being a non-believer in Bigfoot to there is a very big possibility that there's this huge creature in the mountains that I've never seen. And I'm 49 years old, guys. I've been going out there half my life, and hunting in the same spot for 15 years. Never seen anything. I've never seen a track. Nothing, and I hear lots of stories about it in that area, but I've never seen it for myself. We even have a video of something big climbing up a cliff. The video's from a long ways away, and we don't have bears that big here. But since I can't see this thing perfectly clear, I can't tell you what it is. So those are the two things that seeing the thing climbing up the mountain kind of gave me a little bit of a scare. Like maybe we do have bears that big here, and I've just never came across one, And then
the video that he's talking about, the video that Sonny's talking about, where he says there's a bear climbing up a mountain or whatever it is. This is a sheer rock face. I don't care what anybody says. It's not like a steep climb. It is a sheer rock face. It's not. There's no path. There's
like
a sheer rock face, and you can clearly see something moving its way up this rock face.
You actually see it climbing like this, climbing this. but like I said, guys, I didn't see it with my own 2 eyes. I'm one of those kind of people that you're not going to convince. I have to see it. So now that I've actually seen these footprints, I'm a little bit scared. I'm going to be honest. I use a 300 mag Weatherby, and I also use a 45 Magnum for my sidearm. I'm still scared to go out in the mountains now just because I found this huge footprint of an animal that is just something I've never seen before. You know, it's kind of scary. But okay, I think that video should be sent now. I'm going to see if I can share it. Okay, we'll see what happens. Hopefully my internet is going to hold up.
You sure you don't want to hold on to this for your own channel?
No.
He's a nice man. He shares his excitement.
I have to be honest. That was very courteous of you to say that, because I was thinking the same thing. It's like you haven't talked to anybody about this except for like
I know, but you know what? Honestly, if I was a Bigfoot guy or something, I would hold on to it for my channel or something. But I think everyone needs to see this, guys. I'm one of those people that absolutely will not fake anything because I run this show. And if you were to come on my show and tell a story that you made up and I found out, I'd be a little mad. I'd be a little disappointed.
I'd be pissed. Yeah.
Because we're trying to find true answers here, guys. We're not trying to make stuff up. We don't want to do that. We have enough people making fake stuff already. You know, so like when you see something that actually I recorded, you can bet that it's 100% real. Like, yeah, I'm not one of those people that even are very good on a computer, so there's no way I could go in and make a video. If you guys go look at my channel, the first video I've ever made that I put together was me driving the side-by-side, and that was just like 4 days ago. It's the first video I ever made, dude. It was so easy. My phone did it all for me, so it added music to it. But yeah, other than that, that's about as high tech as I get, y'all.
Did you, after you saw that, did you hang around? You were fine?
I stayed the night, and then I came back. Okay, I stayed the night, and then I came back. I came back to camp after my truck got hit by that rock, maybe 45 minutes after the truck got hit.
That's big, Sonny.
Oh, wait till I put my foot next to it. Hold on, guys. Here, I'll play it for you right now. You guys ready? Here we go.
That's right outside my trailer.
Oh, that's a nice trailer.
I know what I look for when I look for tracks. I sure cannot explain that track.
Holy moly!
Yes, and I remember my boot is almost 12 inches long. It's 11 inches long.
Twice as wide. There's 1, 2,
see the toes.
3, 4, 5.
No claw marks, just toes. And then I'll lower the camera right now so you can see the pad of its foot.
You can see the indentation.
Look
in the ground. That's right outside my trailer.
Now, what I didn't notice is there is another footprint to the left of it.
Because I ain't seen one.
You guys will see it. I just didn't.
God damn, that's a big ass footprint. I said, it's just bigger than my boot. Holy fuck!
I'm sorry for the cussing, but I was honestly
scared. Someone accidentally made that. If Bigfoot's real, that's one big son of a bitch right there.
Wow.
Now, how far was that from like your front door of your trailer?
That far, right there.
How far is that? Would you say?
That's probably 20 feet. And then you know what? I'm gonna go back and put it on the second footprint right now, so you guys can see there is actually a second footprint that I just didn't notice. I was so focused on that perfect one, I didn't see the other one.
I'm hunting.
It's just to the left, and you're gonna see the toe prints.
Where I look for tracks. I sure cannot explain that.
It's track. Right there.
Oh, yeah,
it's right to the left. You can see the toe prints, and I did not see this, guys. It comes in again at 57 seconds. I went down and checked it
with a boot on.
We'll skip over to it.
Wide ass footprint.
It's right here. Look, you can see it right here. It's just in that quick little.
Wow.
It's as if it's stood there for like it's come up and stopped and stood there for a little while.
Big ass footprint.
Yep. Right there. right here, there's another one. I just didn't see it because it wasn't perfect like this. But after I watched the video, I can see the toe marks, and I was like, "Shit, there was another one. I didn't even notice it."
Well,
that's it, guys. That's what I woke up to find. The next day, I shot a video. I started shooting a video in the trailer to do on the show.
Yep.
And I waited for the sun to come up because it was really dark outside when I got up. When the sun came up, I went out to check that track in the video. I have my camera with me, and it's you can tell other things have walked over it. It's pretty messed up. It don't look like that no more. It got messed up in one day. And then as I'm going out of the trailer, though, I start to go down the stairs. I have this white plastic fold-out table in front of my trailer. You guys probably see it in the video. But yeah, I had the white plastic fold-out table out there, and there was blood on it. Just blood right in the center of it. A little amount of blood, a trail of blood, a foot long, probably this wide, just blood down the table. And I couldn't figure that out either. And I took my towel and I wipe it off in the video and everything, and it's blood. I just don't know where it came from. I have no idea.
Where was that from?
It's like a little bobcat got up there and ate a squirrel.
Have you washed the towel yet? But it was probably, it was probably an animal that had been eating something. I was just going to say, it could be Bigfoot had an injury, and it could be Bigfoot blood.
That was the next day, though. When I came out, the track was messed up. There was no more tracks around. And there was blood on the table. It was just another weird happening. Something weird that happened that weekend, And like I said, I've never had anything. I've never had no experiences like this in my life, guys. This all happened just a few weeks ago in one day. I recorded this video in the morning, and like 4 hours later, someone threw a rock at my truck, or something threw a rock at my truck in the middle of nowhere, 20 minutes from the campsite. I can't tell you that Bigfoot's real, guys, but now I can 100% tell you that it might be real. Before I was like,
there's an NBA player stalking your campground.
Yeah, unless Shaq was walking around out there barefooted. There's something huge out there
without shoes on, just out there tromping around.
His foot isn't even that big, is it? That's pretty impressive. Close.
I think he wears like a 17 or something like that.
Oh,
it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's actually, when you think about it, though, Sonny, it's a little bit disturbing too, because that means while you were asleep in your trailer, thinking you're in the middle of nowhere, no one's there, you're safe. I mean, I'm assuming now you're going to lock your trailer door when you go to sleep at night. Well,
kinda. I had this feeling one time. I want to put it back on the front of the trailer so you guys can see what I'm talking about here. Okay, you see the window right here to my trailer? My trailer has a lift kit on it. So you see there's a step here too, right? I have to put this step just to get up to these steps because it's lifted that much higher. Okay. So this window is about 11 to 10 feet off the ground right here. Okay, and my bed is right behind these windows that are up top. One night in a total different spot, I was with Sean. I felt something bump my trailer. The whole trailer shook, right? So I started to open these blinds right here. It's about 3 o'clock in the morning. I was going to just lift one blind up and look through there. And I had this strange feeling that when I lifted the blind up to look through it, there was going to be something looking back at me, which meant it was going to have to be 10 feet tall to 11 feet tall. And then I scared myself and I didn't open the blind. I didn't look out there. I said, whatever the hell it is, it could just stay out there. So when I got up in the morning, right here under the trailer, when deers go to sleep, they like to make a circle. They keep walking in a circle. And there was a female deer walking in a circle, and she was bumping the trailer. Oh. So that's what was bumping my trailer. That was my first scare of a Bigfoot, but that's what it was. It was a deer. Totally could explain it. I went out the next morning. She got up and ran away. Her tracks and her bed was there right under the trailer where she was bumping the trailer. Totally could explain it. On this, guys, I've never seen a track like that before in my life that a human didn't make walking barefooted in the sand. Okay? But they're never that big. I've never seen anything that big in my whole hunting lifetime.
Well, congratulations, Bunny, because that's awesome. And as you say, like the skeptics out there can go, oh, yeah, I don't think it's a Bigfoot. It might not be a Bigfoot, but what the hell is it?
Exactly, guys. Like, what made that track? Because a bear with no claws, maybe? You know, like a really big bear drug his foot somehow, and he didn't have claws to make the claw marks. That's the only thing I could think of.
For the folks that may not understand, how far out were you on this, Sonny? Where this campsite from civilization?
From civilization, far away. From the main street, I'm 2 miles off the road at least, into the mountains. Yeah, but that's the main street. That main street don't go into a town again for a long ways. I'm way up there where there's no phone signals, there's no TV, there's nothing, guys. I have TV because I use my phone to run my projector or TV with in the trailer, but there's no signals there. You don't get cable or TV signals. You can barely get a radio station to come in sometimes.
Wow, that's pretty far off the beaten path. You can't get a radio signal.
You can pick them up during the daytime, but then at nighttime, the radio stations all fade out and you can't really get any to come in.
That is awesome. And thank you for sharing that story.
No
I was actually after the one with the stinky dead thing and you still said
okay,
you know what happened after that.
That's what happened after that. You see where the trailer's pulled, I already shut it off, but okay, I pulled the trailer up there. Well, when I pulled in that night, my father-in-law was camped next to me. My sister-in-law was camped next to him. Me and my wife pulled in, and I told her, oh, there's something dead in the camp. Can you smell it? And it was just horrible, dead corpse smell, like from a dead deer or a dead something. Just real bad. Well, I was unloading the truck and trailer, setting up the camp. I went in, and when I came out, it had been a total time lapse of about an hour, okay? Well, when something dies up here, it's hot in the mountains where I live, because I live in California, so it don't get too cold up there yet. It has to be wintertime for that, and here we're in the middle of summer. When something dies up there, your bodies have a lot of fats trapped in the meat, and you just have a layer of fat around a body of an animal too. There's silts and everything else in there. That's fat tissues. Those melt from the heat here. And what it does is it makes a big grease spot underneath where the animal was dead. So if you have a carcass that you're smelling and you go to find that carcass, but the carcass is dragged off by a bigger animal, you'll still find the spot where it was dead and laying there, because it's just this big round grease spot where this body was laying. And humans do it too. Like if you were to put a human in the dirt, that you're going to get the same thing. So then it gives off the same smell, real horrible smell. So that was out there. Well, like an hour later, it was gone. So I was like, okay, the wind shifted, but it shifted so good, I can't smell the smell no more. But it wasn't that windy. So the next morning I got up and I have my hunting dog with me. He's a little weenie dog. Dapple weenie dog is what he is. Dapple Dachshund. And he's a good smeller. He's a good hunter. And so I put him on the tracks, like I want to find that dead carcass because the smell was totally gone. I could not find anything dead for, I don't even know, a good 50 to 70 acres circled around my camp that I walked out. I started walking, just looking for this dead thing so I could see what it was that got killed. And there was nothing. No print on the ground. No.
See, even if there was something dead out there and something else over the night had like drug it off, there would still be like a big grease spot.
Yeah, and there'd still be a smell, maybe not as strong, but there'd still be an odor.
And,
you would definitely smell it, and you would see that grease spot. You would follow the smell straight to the grease spot. Within 100 yards, you'll be able to find it. It's that pungent when something dies like that. And there was absolutely nothing. So I made the joke and told my father-in-law, hey, that smell's gone. And all these people I talked to on the show, they said Bigfoot stinks like that. And then 2 weeks later, that's when I end up having this experience, about a week and a half to 2 weeks later, roughly. As I got the video, and it's the same spot where I thought I smelled a Bigfoot, though, and now there's a track. And now something threw a rock at my truck. Dude, just so many things fell into line in one day. Like, I mean, like finding the print and getting the truck hit with a rock was just, it blew my mind. And then I started thinking about the smell when I pulled in. I was like, I even said that was a Bigfoot, joking around, you know, like, because they're supposed to smell really nasty like that. But so do bears sometimes. I've never smelled one like that, but I heard they could smell like that. It was a very dead body pungent smell that was in that area. I mean, right there where I put the trailer. So yeah, now finding the print, and then 20 minutes down this dirt road, the truck got hit with a rock that I couldn't find anyone that threw it. I used to be able to say Bigfoot wasn't real, guys. I hunt all the time in these woods where he lives. I've never seen him. Now I cannot say that to you no more. I can't say that no more and feel good about myself saying it, because there's a possibility that he's real.
Yeah, someone just said that power of suggestion. You manifested a real Bigfoot after that. It was, well, maybe, but Enzo knows Sonny very well, and I trust Enzo. And I've heard Sonny. I've watched Sonny talk before, and I know that he is skeptical of some things. I've watched his show, so I'm just really stoked for you. I reckon that's awesome. Bit like me getting that EVP and thinking for a while I was the same, skeptical. Whatever. I know everybody else gets them, but I don't know. It could be anything. And then I get one that's like, oh my god, it's real. But yes, thank you, Sonny.
What got me into it too, Karen, was I had seen, like, got me into doing the show, was I went on UFO Garage. That's some buddies of ours. I was on their show because I had seen something really low over my neighborhood. Well, just into maybe a couple of years ago, a year ago or so, I was totally convinced that it was a big flying V, the stealth bomber, the big flying
B2.
Okay. It was that thing. Okay. And it came so low over the neighborhood. The way I describe it is that if there would have been 2 telephone poles stacked on top of my single story house, it would have knocked the top telephone pole over. It would have hit it. So it's that low. I can see the sheetrock work and everything on the bottom of this plane going over my house. The only problem is the plane is coming in over the neighborhood as I'm pulling into the neighborhood. I get out of the truck and it's still coming over the neighborhood. Now it's over the top of me after a few minutes, and I'm freaking out because I've never seen anything this big move this slow. I go in the house, get my daughter out of the shower. She comes out with a towel on and is looking up at this thing directly over the house with me. My neighbor's outside looking at it too. She says, I've never seen nothing like that either, Dad, but it does kind of look like that plane that I'm saying it is, the stealth bomber. I go, but it don't make any noise. It's just so crazy. It don't make no noise and it can go that slow. I didn't think they could go that slow. And so she goes back in, gets in the shower. I watch this thing leave the neighborhood. And as it goes over the neighborhood, it banks off to the right a little bit and just starts accelerating. And it's not like the UFO stories you guys hear from. It's just gone. Okay, this thing went faster and faster till it was totally out of sight. When I first pulled in the neighborhood, it had 4 lights on the cone of this thing turned on like floodlights. So that's how I noticed what it was. I thought it was a drone with 4 white lights. That's what it looked like at first because it was so far away. But as he came over the neighborhood, he shut those lights off. And he did not have no red flashing lights. It didn't have anything. So I've been telling this story this whole time, guys, as I seen a stealth bomber fly over my neighborhood. And it was so quiet, That's kind of how I got into this. Then I met Jim Goodall. This man comes and stays at my house. Like, we are really good friends, okay? And
Jim Goodall has literally written the book on the SR-71 history. He is a historian by trade.
And even little old me knows who he is.
So I have him here. I tell him the story. And we're live on air when I told him the story, and he kind of brushed me off. I was working on his car out front. He drives a really nice Corvette, and I had to do something to it to fix it. He had ripped the spoiler off of it. I was putting the spoiler back on. And we're out there. When I was done, I got up. I asked him about it again, and he stopped me because we were walking back to the shop. And he stopped me, and he goes, look, You did not see a B-52 bomber fly over your house that slow. He goes, for one thing, they can't go that slow. And another thing, if it was that low, it would have blew every window out of every house in that neighborhood. He said they're that loud, Sonny. It would have shook the
B-2
ground
stealth bomber
loud.
is loud as shit. It is super loud.
So, guys, whatever flew over my house was okay, my neighborhood is out in the country, and it is 5 blocks wide, okay? And it's flying straight down the center of this craft is in the center of the neighborhood. So the wings are expanded out over my neighborhood. It was so long at one point, it's going so slow that I thought it was falling out of the air, okay? So if it was to fall on my neighborhood, I just remember thinking it's going to take the whole neighborhood out because the plane is as long as the neighborhood is. Well, it's as wide as the neighborhood is. It's not long. It's just a big flying boomerang. That's what it looked like. and it came over the house. Like I said, no lights, no nothing. I was 100% for sure that's what it was until that man, Jim Goodall, explained to me that I did not see that. And so now I have no idea what I seen fly over my house. I just know it didn't make any noise. And I had time to go get people out of the house to come to look at it for minutes. And my neighbor watched it. He speaks Spanish, so we kind of spoke in Spanish back and forth a little bit. And neither one of us had ever seen anything like that. He kept asking me what it was, and I was telling him I don't know. I don't know.
Hey guys, I've put Sunny's a link to Sunny's channel in here. So click on it and save it for later or whatever. And if you forget it, just remember Paranormal Chop Shop. But go over and because when they do their lives, Sunny and stuff, they're funny. I just like sitting there listening to them rattle on. It's like it's just he's super. And as you can see, he's got tons and tons of stories.
Sometimes we're serious, but most of the time she's right. We try to be funny.
Yeah, just try to have fun and Oh, good, Cheryl. Cheryl's already subscribed, she says. So very good.
Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. And thank you so much, Karen, for bringing me up. And like I said, I don't mind sharing the story. I know I haven't done one yet. I'm going to set it up and do one about it on the Chop Shop with the Bigfoot stuff. But I'm one of those guys, like, if I find something like that has totally got me stumped, I don't care who gets the credit for it or who sees it, just as long as it gets out there so people can actually see that there really is something in the woods that's making those footprints. Every time I've seen a footprint on YouTube or anything, I always thought in my head someone made that. Yeah, but now that I found my own with nobody around, I can't say that there's not a Bigfoot anymore, guys. I used to just say there was no Bigfoot.
And I totally, Enzo will understand this. I totally said it before, but I absolutely actually understand what he is feeling right now because I was the same about ghosts and things like that. Because I went to Waverly Hills Sanatorium, and I've seen plenty of people say, oh, it's an EVP, and it said this and it said that. And I'm still skeptical. I want to believe, but I'm still skeptical. But I went there. I was walking out of what they call the death chute. I was la, 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 and I shut up and I heard the singing again. And I said to my friend, was that you? And she goes, huh? No, I'm not singing. And then when I listened back, you can hear me sing. And then you can hear a few steps later, you can hear
it's very clear.
And I'm like you, Sunny. I just got really excited. I thought, oh my God, I've heard people say it all the time, and I don't not believe it, but it's kind of like, I don't know. And then guys, I finally saw something, and now I kind of get how you feel. It's kind of like, oh.
I can 100% understand what you're saying about like not believing it for yourself. Like I told everyone just a minute ago, I do the show. I get to talk to all these people. I talk to people like Karen that go and do these investigations. Okay. Karen, I didn't believe you guys. Enzo, you've seen the clip there. Okay. Where we also put on drag races, guys. I do Eagle Field drag races. These guys right here. This is our drag races. And we hold them at an old Army base. The Army base has very old Army bunks, like not bunkers, but where they sleep. They're barracks.
Yeah.
The barracks are all falling down. The guy's going to redo the barracks, though, and he's going to make it to where people can actually stay in the barracks again. But right now, they're all falling down. They're kind of spooky looking. So I decided and we also have a museum there that we found all the old stuff that was there when the people bought the property. They made a museum. It's got a nice museum. I went in there. I videotaped. I went in the barracks and videotaped. And for I don't even know, maybe about an hour almost of video. At the very end of the video, and this is the reason why it's the end of the video, I walked through one of the barracks that's closest to everything, actually, where I would be camped at. I'm walking through that barrack is like going to be the third to last barrack I had to walk through. Okay. So I'm walking through this third to last barrack. And as I go through where they sleep, you walk through a doorway, and then you walk into this big, huge shower thing. It's a big square shower, probably 12 by 12 shower, where all these guys would take a shower in one spot. Then you walk through another doorway out of the shower, and it goes into this hallway. One hallway goes to one bathroom, and then it comes back down and goes into the other. So I got the phone and I'm recording, Karen, and I walk through the shower. I turn to see what's down that hallway. I walk down the little 10-foot hallway. I turn, there's a bathroom. So I'm walking out of that bathroom, walking to the next one. I turn, there's another bathroom. And now that shower thing is behind me, okay? And I say on the phone, all these bathrooms are making me have to pee. Well, when I say that, something hits the wall, and you hear it. It hits the wall so hard behind me. Whack! Now, guys, at that, I'm carrying a 1911 45 on my hip, so I'm armed.
You don't even think about that.
It hits the wall behind me. I turn around like this, and all you see is me videotaping the bathroom, and I'm going, nope. I can't walk back in there. I'm so scared that I can't take a step. Now I'm just stuck in this fucking place. I was so scared, Karen. I will never, ever, ever do what you do again. What she does, guys, is perfectly real. And something really did happen in there. It scared the shit out of me. And there is absolutely no one or nothing in these barracks. They're empty and no one is around them. I'm out there by myself, and it slapped the wall so hard that it scared me so bad. That was the end of the videos. You even hear me say, I'll never do this shit again. Like, I'm trying to get out, and I don't even want to walk back through. I finally walk through it. It takes me a good 10 seconds to walk back into the bathroom with the light on the phone, and I'm shining it around, and you can't see nothing. That's when I was ready to leave. I got the hell out. And then I got away from the barracks. I've never been back in there. We have drag races there 3 or 4 times a year. We put them on. I'm right next to the barracks. I have never gone back in those barracks, daytime or nighttime. I won't go back in them. Something was honestly in there, and that I couldn't see, and made a noise. And that was the end of my ghost hunting. At least
you didn't see a naked ghost having a shower.
No naked ghost. I didn't see anything. Maybe if I would have seen it, it wouldn't be so scary. But just to have something smack the wall behind your head and then nothing be there, that was just too much for me. Like, my brain couldn't comprehend it, like what had just happened. Like, I watched the video over and over, just trying to see, did something fall or break? Like that I just didn't see, and nothing. There's nothing there, and it's just this loud smack of a hand hitting sheetrock. It's just so loud.
Tanya just said she wants to see a naked ghost having a shower. Oh, dear.
That was my ghost story, Karen. So I appreciate what you do, because I don't ever want to have to do it again. So I really enjoy watching you guys do it, though.
I haven't had anything scary like that happen to me. If anything, for me, it's like, I'm here. Scare me, but nothing does.
See, I'm a sissy when it comes to ghosts. I'm surprised I even walked through there at nighttime to begin with. And mostly it's because I just ain't scared of nothing like that, because I don't believe in it. But when it does come to something like that, like haunted, like if it might be a demon, I was terrified.
No, I don't believe in demons. I think that's a load of hogwash, but that's just me. Like I say, until I see one.
What scares me the most is the dolls. I don't like when the people come on the show and they bring the haunted dolls. And even just staring at him on the camera, I got to tell him, can you move? Oh, my God, you got him. Those are the ones I'm talking about.
No, she's not haunted. She's just an old doll. She's just an old doll. I don't even believe.
I feel like they're looking back sometimes.
Yeah, I'm not sure I believe in haunted dolls. I can't imagine why a ghost or a spirit would attach itself to a toy.
Lifeless eyes, like a doll's eyes.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like I said, guys, I was a very firm non-believer in all this stuff, even what Karen does. If you ever doubt her, I just suggest you go out and try it like I did one time. You'll never do it again. If something happens and you're kind of a scaredy cat like me, you're never going to do it again.
Nah, it's I when I went out with the others and I was going to these places and they're all saying and granted they felt it, that I can't say they didn't feel uncomfortable or whatever, but I was like running into it. Like, I want to see something. I want something to step out. Oh, yes, I know I'm going to be terrified, but I need to see it. I want to see it. And so I just barge in. Like, they go, oh, the such and such is going off in the room, and they'd all stand still. And I'd just go towards the room where it was going off, like, hello. I'm a bit of a nut job at the minute.
I didn't have any fancy stuff like that, Karen. I was walking. Okay, the one barrack where it happened is totally cleaned out. Okay, but the other barracks I was walking through, the very first one, it's where all the shit is stored out of all the other barracks. So it's like all crammed in this one. I'm walking through all that stuff, and there's this one door at the back, and it's closed, and it's all broken, spooky looking. And I was like, oh, I don't even want to open that door. I was already scared. Nothing even happened. I opened the door, and there's a shadow back there. Looks like a person standing there. It's kind of scary. And I'm making jokes like this. So I was scaring myself already. And then when something hit the wall in the other barrack,
it made you work. Yeah.
Gone. That was the end of it. That was all you guys were getting. I'll never go back there again. So yeah, I kind of scared myself. So like I said, I'm already scared going in there. And which to me is kind of weird because like I said, I'm not scared of anything. But I scared myself, like seeing the shadows and stuff like that. And then physically having something loud happen.
But that's different.
That loud bang to where it went from dead silent in that video. All you hear, because like the plaster that was on the walls is all falling off on the floor. So what you're hearing is me crunching through this plastic, the plaster, walking through the abandoned the building. And then that's all you hear is that crunch, and then that big smack. When I turned the corner, and then it honestly stopped my heart. You can tell in the video that I'm shaking. Like I can't turn around fast. I'm wanting to go as fast as I can, but I can barely move. Like I just felt like something was right there looking at me, and there's nothing. It's just like I said. If anyone ever has any doubts, I encourage you guys to go try this stuff for yourself. Yeah. It's unbelievable, and Karen's got to experience this stuff, guys.
Wow.
Karen, you said you wanted to find it, and then you were a little scared. How were you the second time on the second trip? Were you going out saying, "Okay, do it again, scare me again"? Like,
I wanted to be scared. Yes, because I figure I'm not. Only because if something has the power to do like what it did to you, make that loud bang or do something. Firstly, though, I would have shit myself just like you did. But I would still be thinking to myself, hang on a second, is there a raccoon in here? Is there, do you know what I mean? Like I'd still stop and I'd think, hang on a second, wait a minute, breathe. Quick, run back into it, like run back into where the bang come from, like I would, because I think, okay, if there's nothing there, because anything to make something that loud and to the plaster to fall off, I can't imagine it was a raccoon.
The plaster was already down. I was walking all over that. It was already on the floor. That didn't knock the plaster off the wall.
But that's what it means. I would prefer to run towards it than to run away from it.
Another scary thing that you see in the video, okay, you hear me talking, and as I turn in the bathroom and I say it's making me have to pee, you hear that bang, that whack. Okay, so I show the video to a few of our friends. I show it to Willie, to William Townsend, Big Willie is what we call him. He's on the show a lot. He's on a lot of
Big
shows with me and Enzo.
Yeah, Big Willie was on the night I was. Yeah.
He's a pretty cool guy. Well, he's watching that footage and he goes, "Oh my God, Sonny, do you see the handprint behind you in the video on the wall that got hit?" What are you talking about, Willie? So I go back and look at the video and there's a clear handprint just smacked up on this wall, right?
Okay.
I got the same feeling. So I go back and I double check the video. Before the bang, as I'm turning that corner, you see the handprint. It's somebody's dirty hand that they stuck on the wall. So that handprint was there way before the smack happened. You know, it wasn't that. But like I said, it was one of those things I had to go back and check because I never notice that handprint until Willie pointed it out. But it was always there. So I know I'm debunking myself, guys, but like I said, I'm only about the truth. I don't try to make it sound
you're doing the science. That's what you're supposed to do.
But yeah, so I wanted to say the handprint was the noise, but it wasn't. The handprint was already there. It did come from that wall. It sounded like it came from the other side of the wall, though, where the handprint was. It sounded like it was in that shower is where it sounded like it came from. That shower that was right behind me, it sounded like it came out of there. So like I said, if I ever show you the video, Karen, you'll see me turn around and I'm just standing there. And I think what I'm saying is nope. As soon as it happens, I'm standing there shaking, just going, nope. Like I can't walk in there. I want to real bad, but I can't get my legs to move.
I'm just gonna, hey everybody, those who you are jumping ship, please do. Sonny's stories were pretty exciting and it was a surprise and I didn't expect him, and I don't want to piss Joe off because he's gone live, but Joe doesn't have Sonny. I've got Sonny and Enzo. But yeah, head on over. It's okay. I'll wind it up here anyway. And I you guys stay right where you are and I'll wind this up so everybody can run over to Joe's channel. But thank you, Sonny. This has been awesome. I'll have to get Sonny and you on again, Enzo. This would be fun. I like listening to Sonny.
I really like the channel and I've been reading your chat. I know a lot of people in there. And the other ones seem very nice too.
Names.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's because I like to talk about everything. The only thing that I poo-hoo about is demons. I just think,
I'm
I don't know.
Indian. I'm American Indian, and I'm American Indian, and I'm Italian, so I'm baptized Catholic.
Oh, then you may well believe in demons.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. The way they teach us, if there's good, there's bad. So
actually, I was watching.
But my Indian side, guys, I carry my pouch. Like you'll never not see this on me.
Is that what I was watching? A Navajo. They say, "Dn" is Navajo. I think and he was talking about. He was trying to explain what a shapeshifter, demon, even an alien, all those things. And he talked about humans. It's a human and that can, he tried to explain it. It's sort of mystical, but yeah, he said demons. He said, but it's basically something that will concentrate itself on you and attach to your weaknesses. But and he said always keep, which I'm assuming you've got around your neck, always keep your talisman or your protection close.
Yep. Yeah,
he can't. Right?
They can't get me with that on. I'm a firm believer in that.
Yeah. So the more I listen, because I subscribe to a Navajo channel,
there you go.
And I wish I could. He'll talk all Navajovian first, and I'll go ooh, and then he'll speak in English. But I love it how he says and I'm like that means Navajo. So he says what they're called. So I'm awesomely impressed that I even know the Navajo word for Navajo. But yeah, so I don't know. But the more you learn, like I say, I tisk it, but then I've never seen it. Same as with the big footprint. Same with the EVP. I've been on these investigations. I've heard what people say. Oh, listen, we heard this, we heard that, but I was still skeptical. But the minute it actually happens to you, and then you realize, oh shit.
And like
I can't explain this. Then it's different.
like Karen's saying, guys, it is an oh shit moment. It was an oh shit moment with the sound, the smacking of the wall, because I was trying to go out and see what these kind of people are doing, like I wanted to know for myself. Well, it's something scary. I figured that out quick. It was another oh shit moment finding that footprint. Like I said, guys, I'm a hunter. I do this stuff all the time. I'm retired from the railroad. I don't work no more. All I do is hunt. I know every track that could possibly be made by an animal here in California. The biggest bear I've ever seen killed here was about 500 to 600 pounds. Whatever made that track was at least 1,000 pounds. Yes. And California's state animal is the grizzly bear. We hunted them to extinction. There is no more in California. Absolutely none. You will not find one here. You haven't been able to find them here for years and years and years. We don't have them here. But
even so, that's still a big paw print for a grizzly.
And where the toes are at in that picture, you would have seen big, huge claw marks, and you would have only seen 4 toes too. You wouldn't have seen that dew claw would have been so far back. But yeah.
Well, even when you look at that footprint that you showed, it goes like on a curvature. It's very ape-like.
I can tell by the shape of the foot. It was definitely his right foot. Whoever made that footprint, it was the right foot.
Yeah, it was, and it's curled.
Yeah, you can see it that well.
Yeah, and there ain't no ape that big. There's big boys, but not that big.
There's no apes or anything like that where I live either, guys. So even California.
No, exactly. Unless one escaped from a zoo, but even if it did, again, not that big. Like not that big. So it's super cool. I'll end this, guys, because I really don't want to get Joe upset with me. I know he loves me, but maybe not this much, and but that's okay. So if you haven't already, go over and see Joe. He often talks about interesting things, not as interesting as us though. Hey guys, but go over, and I'll be back next week. I'll try and make this a Friday night thing for you guys over in America. But if there's someone else on, I don't like to, what do you call it? Step on people's toes. It's a community. It's a community.
Right.
You feel free. Like if someone else is on, we'll come back and watch the next one. Don't worry. I'll always go back and watch it.
Oh, there you go. All right. So goodbye, Sunsaver. Goodbye. Oh, goodbye, Enzo in the chat. Goodbye, Grumpy Bear. Goodbye, Tanya. Oh, I'm not even sure who's still here. Catherine. So I'm not sure, but goodbye to all of you, and I will see you next week, and I'll have a little episode out before then too. So I'll see you next week. Bye. Bye.